Good morning, nation. You guys ready? Let's hit it.
Inside Allegiant Stadium for the first time this year. Max Crosby. Touchdown Raiders. Some traffic is picked off by Robert Spillane. Down Jones. Yeah, let's go, goddammit. The back and he's caught there for the touchdown. And drilled from behind. Ball's out. Big man running.
This is a great opportunity for us to come home in front of our family, fans, Raider Nation, the Black Hole.
Raiders! Goddamn right.
What is up, Raider Nation? Good morning, Nation. Appreciate everybody tapping in with me on this beautiful Saturday morning. We have a good show lined up for you guys today. I'm dragging a little bit of ass. Had a long night with Jeff doing yesterday's show, and we're up kind of late, but I still wanted to go ahead and pop on and join you guys as usual. I appreciate everybody tapping in. If you are new, welcome to the show. Make sure you guys check in, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys click those thumbs. Help keep supporting the show for sure. I do shows 3 times a week. This morning show every damn Saturday at 10 a.m. I do Raiders Unfiltered every damn Monday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, and then the Raider Connection with the guys. That is a panel show, and we do it at 7 every damn Wednesday at 7 p.m. With myself, Cheeto Linus, Jeff New England Booster, and then LV Raider 10, and that show pops because we got different opinions. A lot of people talking, so you definitely want to go ahead and make sure you guys check those out for sure. But yeah, so let's go ahead and kind of get into it. I might have somebody pop in later today in the show, so but I'll let you guys know if that happens. But I wanted to go ahead and kind of talk about, since now we have figured out the coaching situation, we can go ahead and focus towards free agency, because that's the first thing that we're going to hit before the draft. And so it's important to know who to kind of go after. And Cheeto Linus actually talked about this on Wednesday, what are our needs. And I think that's something we should definitely go ahead and kind of talk about, focus on the things that we all know that we need a quarterback. That's a given. But as far as other positions out there, there's still areas that we need to go ahead and address. We have 27 free agents. Not all of them are going to stay. Probably a fraction of them will. And so, are we going to go ahead and upgrade from that, or are we going to keep some of those guys? It'd be interesting to see what everybody's opinion on who stays, who goes, who we should go after. So, definitely, a lot to talk about. But before I go ahead and do that, I gotta make sure I acknowledge my people, my ride or dies, everybody who taps in with me every damn Saturday morning. Love it. But let me go ahead and hit up the chat. My guy, Raider Food Chris, he was on with us last night. Um, it was good finally putting a face to the chat. I hope you keep doing it. If you are gonna do a show, let me know, brother. I'd love to go ahead and jump on and chop it up with you for sure. My guy Jack Ken, I appreciate you tapping in. Good morning. Um, my guy Walt, the general manager in the house. Yes, for sure. My guy, ready to run down. What is up, brother? Good morning. I know you probably been up a little bit early, taking care of baby rundown. It's gonna be my turn pretty soon, bro. He's coming in a couple of weeks, so um, I'm gonna be doing the damn thing again for the second time uh, in a very short time. So, but it's all good. I feel you though. I feel you. Um, let's see, my guy Drew. Appreciate you tapping in. Good morning, brother. Appreciate you coming on the show, joining me on this damn Saturday morning. But yeah, so let's kind of go ahead and get into it. Again, we have free just literally right around the corner. And then extensions. I believe just right before that, couple of names that come up for those. Extension. We have 20 again. We have 27 free agents gonna that could potentially go up on the block come this free agency, and it's gonna be interesting to see who stays, who goes. Max Crosby, top of that list. He's not going to be a free agent, but the talk that's been going on for the last, I don't know, 4 months, 5 months is getting him restructured, getting him extended to be able to give him guaranteed money. And so I'm a proponent. Get that man paid, extend him, which it most likely looks like it's going to happen. And they're probably going to go ahead and extend him probably about 4 years or so, maybe five, all the way up to the point where he's potentially be able to go ahead and retire as a Raider. So, I mean, his shelf life, he doesn't have a long shelf life. So the time is now to go ahead and make sure that we get him taken care of. The trade rumors have not stopped with that. Obviously, on Wednesday with the Raider connection with the guys, I mentioned the report from Ian Rappaport. I'm going to go ahead and show that in just a second. Um, and we are going to go ahead and get a guest really quick, hop on, and then we'll really go ahead and chop into it. But let me go ahead and share that with you. That way we kind of recap what's going on. All right. All right. So if you guys see this, this is something that was put out by Eli Berkowitz. He was talking about Ian Rappaport basically saying that Max Crosby wants to be a Packer. He says Max Crosby might welcome change, particularly if it's to a playoff team where he knows people, e.g., Green Bay, quote unquote. Amongst all available edges, I think Max Crosby by far has the best shot to end up a Packer. And the little thing right here, he saw Nixon. He used to be a Raider with us. He's like, come be great with the real team, my boy. So trying to add some more smoke to the fire, or potential fire, right? But yeah, that's Ian Rappaport trying to put out there that Max Crosby could potentially be a Packer, which obviously I think we all know that most likely will not happen. I'm pretty sure like 99% won't happen. You got the 1% of error out there, but that's pretty much it. To be realistic, we know we know what Max really wants to be. He doesn't want to be part of a winning team, but we already see that being assembled at this current point. We brought in Pete Carroll. We just acquired Chip Kelly. We brought back Patrick Graham for continuity. Um, some of the coaches got brought back. Big name, Robbie Leonard on the defensive side. That was somebody that those guys really, really like. So having him there and then even giving him more responsibility says a lot. And then obviously they are starting to address that offense that does need a lot of dire help. But seeing all those things come into play and being assembled, you can't really see Max. Hey, you know what? I still want to go and shop my options. I mean, it's if if we're if we're going through the same process of like literally wiping out a whole staff and starting from scratch, I could potentially see that, but not in this instance where literally you got your new head coach calling you out, say, "Hey, Max, go ahead and let you guys know we're gonna come after them. We're gonna get everybody together. We're gonna do this thing right." I mean, if you're getting called out on the first day of a new head coach's press conference, that to me makes it seem that he's a priority and they're gonna get him taken care of. That's probably first on the list. It hasn't happened yet, but obviously everything has to make sense. But if, as far as nickels and dimes, that's not going to be a problem. That's not going to be a problem. So I wanted to put that out there because I mean this shit doesn't stop. This shit won't stop until Max signs on the dotted line for his extension. That's literally has to be the first order of business. We got to get this guy taken care of. Obviously, he just wants to make sure that he's taken care of on his end. He's not, he'll get the bag, but also he'll make it go. I'm pretty sure he'll make it team friendly, where we're not having to go ahead and shell out a lot right now. He just wants to make sure most of that 28 gets to him, no matter what. So you can't blame the guy for wanting that. For as much as he works hard, as much as he puts his body on the line, game in, game out, day in, day out in the off season, got to pay the man for sure. But that is probably one of the first order of business that we take care of as a team. Make sure we get Max restructured and extended into the foreseeable future. Finally shutting down these fucking trade rumors. I don't think they'll ever go away, but at least for the time being, we can go ahead and shut it down probably up until the end of this next season. And then it'll probably start again. Obviously, if we have a terrible fucking season, it's gonna happen. It's gonna come up. So but at least for the time being, we can quell these rumors and kind of focus on really putting a great team together. So but obviously there's other guys aside from that. Another key name, Robert Spillane. That's definitely somebody who most likely will go ahead and get re-signed back to the Raiders. He wants to be a Raider. He already has that continuity with Patrick Graham and also Robbie Leonard. So to see him back in the silver black, it's probably highly likely. There's other names as well. We got Chase on. Chase On's another name that most likely will come back to us in this off season and get re-signed. Chase on was a gem, and you got to give Telesco his flowers for getting that pickup. He didn't do a whole lot, but he did that right, and so he got him off waivers and brought him onto the team. And this is like his second coming, second chance at really establishing a career, and I think he found his place with the Raiders. So we're probably going to see him back in the silver and black in this offseason as well. And that's definitely a guy that I hope that we do bring back as well. But before I go any further, I'm about to bring my next guest. So my guy here, he is part of um, Raider Nation Live. He is one of the three guys in that group. They do a damn thing every damn Sunday. I believe Tuesdays as well. Um, so let me go ahead and bring on Raider Gabe. Appreciate you for tapping in, brother.
What's cracking, man? How's it going, man? How's it going? Chilling.
Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for coming on bright and early, man. I know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, for
You're
sure,
in
man.
Cali,
Now we
right?
good. I want to go get what's coming? Yeah, Cali. Out here in Cali.
Yeah.
The IE area, you know what I mean? Like the
Okay.
pretty much, you know what I mean? Not too far from LA, but yeah, we right here. We in
Yeah.
the section, you know what I mean, for sure.
Yeah, no, for sure, brother. I mean, I'm from originally from Cali, so I'm from LA. I'm from LA, not from the
All right.
IE, but you know,
Well,
I feel you.
we moved out here. We originally from like the SGV area, but yeah,
Okay.
we moved out here a couple years back. So it's like this is home now, but you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah,
LA's just so damn crowded, man. Sometimes you try to
it
get
is
away from that,
crowded, bro.
just get away from all of that
Yeah,
traffic. But yeah, man, I mean, shit, it's LA still, you know what I mean? We have it right here, you know what I mean? LA right
yeah,
here on the hand, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's like, yeah, for sure. We rep the
Oh
LA for
yeah,
sure.
man. I got my Dodger helmet. There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
See?
Yes,
I
sir.
got the wifey just bought me a neon sign for Valentine's Day, so we're gonna hang that up. Uh,
Hell yeah.
we're pretty dope, bro. But yeah, no, man. I mean, I'm from the LA, East Low, Southgate area, all that area. Most of my life, man. So I've been lifelong Raider fan for over
Hell
30
yeah.
years
Same
now.
here. Same
Yeah,
here.
yes, sir. Yes,
Hell
sir.
yeah, man. You were
But
born into this. I mean, when you're in LA, sometimes when you were born
I
in LA.
wasn't born into it. I became a fan. So
Oh,
I
okay.
saw
I see
these
that
guys
too.
now.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah. My parents, my dad wasn't a big. He liked football, but he wasn't big into like a specific team. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one
Okay,
who
see, my
really
dad,
like the Raiders. Yeah,
you have what is it? Chicano parents or Mexican parents or
yeah. Mexican Bears. Yeah,
yeah, me too. Like my dad was a I hate even to say this, but my dad's not here no more, but like he was a 49er fan. So I was
yeah.
like that was the crazy thing. My mom was a Dolphins fan. That's the crazy thing too. But it was just
Uh-huh.
like me and then like the rest of the family, you know, from LA, brother, like my brother-in-law knew that fool since I was like 3-4 years old, dog. So it's like that, like it's always been Raiders. Like for
Yeah,
me, it's always been Raiders. Even when I was born, like my aunts were buying me Raider jackets and stuff like that. They weren't letting me. They were going to let me become a Dolphins or a 49ers fan.
yeah,
Now you know what I mean.
yeah,
They were like, nah, he's staying silver and black like the rest of us. So yeah, it was crazy though too. I shit. Most people would think that the like my most of my family would thought like, damn, he's gonna grow up being a 49er fan or a Dolphin fan, but nah, man,
Mhm.
it was Raiders for sure.
Yeah. No, for sure, bro. Yeah, because I watched them on the TV all the time when I was little. So I'm like, cool, man. I, I I'm like, I would literally go look for a Raider game. Like, when are they gonna play? Where are they gonna play? You know, and but in that game, bro,
Yeah,
watching it all the time. You know, yeah. So I'm the one who really adopted the Raiders. And now that I'm a dad, it's the kids now.
yes,
They're born
sir.
into it now.
Yes, sir.
My daughter's already rocking her Raider gear from day one, bro. My son already
Yeah,
has his little onesie already like bought and ready for him,
yeah.
bro. As soon as he comes out, you know.
Teach them young. Yes,
Yep,
sir.
that's how we do it, bro. That's how we do it for sure. Got to, man. Got to.
Yeah, and I was growing up in the '90s, dog, where I thought it was gonna be like people were like, you know, the Niners were winning in those days, you know, in that era. You know what I mean? So it's like they for sure. I like that's what was crazy. Like I people would, you know, as a little kid, you go on to the, you know, not bandwagon, but you know, the teams are winning. You think that you're gonna become a fan of that, but it was just I don't know something about the Raiders that mystique, and then like the way my brother-in-law would put them, like nah, these are like the, you know, this is the like the, not the this is like the home team. You know what I mean? This was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this was the thing. You know what I mean? For like all of us, man. It's just
Mhm.
especially back then. You know what I mean? How people would rep the silver and black when they were from LA and everything like that. So
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Yeah, because
different, man. I was just,
it was a home team. So I'm like, this is I live here. This is my team. This is my football team. And I
sure.
was sad when they moved up to Oakland. I'm like, but I got it. I'm like, well, you know what?
I was too.
We're Raiders now, I
I was
guess, you
too.
know?
But the crazy thing is that as a little kid, you were sad because they were right around the block. You know what I mean? They were not right around the block, but they were down the, they were 10, 15 minutes away when we were living in the SGV, 20 minutes away, the Coliseum. But now it's like, and then when they moved to Oakland, you're like, damn, man, we're never gonna get to see him. As a little kid, you're thinking we're never gonna get to see him again. But shit, we would take more. I think we would take more trips to Oakland than we would to even to LA because they were so close. Sometimes we would just like take it for granted that they were never gonna leave. But when they went to Oakland, it was like, damn, we're going more to Oakland than to LA. So it's like, shit, it was the same shit still.
Yeah, no, I know, and but yeah, man. I mean, saw them through the Oakland phase, and then now in Vegas, bro. And as an adult, I've gone plenty of times to Vegas, but now it's even like, okay, now there's like a real purpose. Like I gotta go see the Raiders play, not just
How did you feel
party
on the news when they first said that they were going to Vegas, though?
I was happy about it because I was going to Vegas regularly almost at one point. I was upset when they got vetoed to come back to LA. I was super pissed about that. The owners blocked that vote for them to get approved.
I think it was more the Rams owner, though. Like, not to hate on the Rams. I think it was a smart decision for him just because he knows that if it was the Raiders in the same building as him, he was not gonna be. He was gonna be the number 2 team in his own building.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like in
and
his own building,
share either.
Yeah, they didn't want to share with the Raiders.
Or Raiders didn't want to share. Period. Then he's like,
exactly.
Mark was like adamant about, like I need my own place. Cool, and I think they were willing to go ahead and build it somewhere. They just needed the okay to come back to LA.
Yeah, the Raiders, the Rams owner. What was it? Is it the Cronkies, right? The Cronkies, they were doing everything because they're big time in this. They're like one of the big owners in like the 32 out of the 32. I would say him, Jerry Jones, Kraft. Those are like the big owners. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm pretty sure they had a lot of pull with all the rest of the owners to make that shit was never going to come to like fruition. You know what I mean? Like it was always going to be the Raiders need to find a different home. Maybe not in Oakland because we remember the stuff that was going on in Oakland. They weren't going to give us a stadium. Stadium was already, out of date and stuff like that. So it's like, we're going to move somewhere. But yeah, man, the Vegas thing. I mean, I was just like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, fuck, man. Like, I just didn't know how to feel when that news came out. It was just like, damn, man, Vegas is closer because we're living out here in the IE now.
Yeah.
It's like 2.5, 3 hours away. So it's like way closer. You know what I mean? But it was
way
just
closer
like,
than Oakland.
Yeah. And then once you got
that's what I thought too.
About it, once you started thinking about it, and you're like, okay, more money. There's gonna be a new stadium and all of that stuff. So it's probably gonna bring more stuff. But like, yeah, man, we've been here now what 5-6 years, and it's
about 5 years.
We need to we need to start bringing that into. I get that we're making money. The value of the team's going up, skyrocketing, and all that shit. But we need to make that shit pay off now. You know what I mean? Like, I get excuses when we were in Oakland, like why we couldn't build a winner and all of this shit because there was no money and all of this shit. But there shouldn't be no excuse anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
there's no excuse now. We got money. We got money coming in from the outside now, and we have money on the inside. So they had approved another group to come in and buy another percentage of it. And that's more capital for the team because now they're able to go out and get a Chip Kelly, right? Paying $6 million a year. He's the highest paid OC in the NFL. Like, it's crazy, but they're able to do that because they got money to do that because that doesn't come from the guy, that comes from the owners, right? So you got Brady, you got Mark, and then you got this like little conglomerate group. They're like Brady's boys or something like that.
Yeah, Seymour. I think Seymour is a little minority owner now
in
too,
there.
right?
Yeah, he's in there too. But they brought in another group aside from that, so they're getting money in there. And I've been saying it that I see Mark Davis. That Davis is actually potentially leaving the Raiders within the next 10 years. I mean, his mom is like the controlling owner,
majority, right?
Yeah, majority owner, something like that. And then Mark's the principal owner. So
Yeah,
she's like 92, bro. And he's
I know.
already like going in his 70s. Mark is almost at his 70s, bro.
And no
So
kids,
no
no
kids,
kids.
nobody.
Smart.
Yeah. It's a smart move for Mark to sell off the team piece by piece and, walk away with the golden parachute, bro, and just be like, you know what? We'll get you your mantle. You'll be there with your dad, but just let us run it and,
Yeah. I
we'll do
think
it
for
right.
him though, he needs to before he leaves, if he wants to be even remembered, dog, like as a, good old, like as something, because right now he has a bad reputation. You know what I mean? Because of since he's been, like they haven't. I mean, he got them to Vegas and got the smart move to build the value of the team and all that stuff. So I get that part. It's just that for him, I think to be known like as in football terms, which it still might get stolen from him a little bit because of the now that Brady's involved, so that they might give him all the credit. Which I mean, right now, if he builds it from here on out, I mean, it's very well. It should come with that, you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
if he wants to get remembered in any breath of Raiders fucking fandom later on in life, bro, he needs to leave this
Yeah.
team at least a winner. Leave this
Yeah.
team at least a winner though before he's all set. Before he does sell the team in the next, like you say, I'm with you though. I think he is. I think he's on that path to where he's trying to leave it in good hands. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? So and that's why I see the Brady thing, because I mean, regardless of your hate for Brady or whatever, when he was with the Patriots, he's a smart football dude. You know what I mean? He makes great moves with money and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
his brand, his brand is worth a lot. Like, and he's worth a lot. You know what I mean? So you can see that he's trying to leave it in good hands, but before he leaves, he needs to leave this a winner, dog, or else he's just gonna be remembered as just a bad owner. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
always gonna overlook that he brought the value over the team, because, like they say, wins is above everything. You know what I mean? And when he could create a winner, that's when you will be remembered.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's gonna go the way like the Dodgers did it, where they bet out I think Frank McCourt or whatever his name
Frank
was.
McCourt, Frank
Yeah,
McCourt,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. And then it
You know
was
what's
Magic
crazy
and
about that deal, which I still think about? The McCourts were smart, dog, because they sold the team, whatever, like that. But as money wise, that they still own part of that parking lot. Well,
oh
most of
really?
they own the parking lot. They own the parking lot, so all the parking and all of that stuff,
Uh-huh.
they still get all of that.
Oh wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy. I didn't
that's
know
the
that.
crazy
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, that like
No
the owners
wonder
of the
no
team.
wonder
Oh
parking's
yeah,
like fucking expensive when I've gone there, bro.
yeah.
I'm like, it's insane. I'm like,
The
what the
McCourts
fuck?
still own the parking.
Yeah. Yeah, damn, it
That's
makes
crazy.
sense. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but they it was literally like Magic and like a group that
Mm-hmm.
he works with came in, bought it for like almost like half a billion or something like that, infused more money into it, and look at what the Dodgers are doing now. Like literally won like 2 championships in the last 5 years,
Yeah.
and like literally are becoming like the next powerhouse team in the West, bro. Like they got Otani, they got that dude. I forgot what's his name.
Sasaki. I
Uh,
know they got Sasaki.
Asaki.
They got
Yeah,
Freddie, Mookie.
yeah. These are
Bro, they're
big.
just
I know. So I know this is like we're talking about football. I know, but
no, for
these,
sure.
these guys are equivalent in football talk. Probably getting like, I don't know, probably like Miles Garrett. That'll be like one of them. That like
For real, like
Hassan
getting all of those
Hassan
guys,
Reddick.
like having all of those guys is like having
Yeah.
all of those guys. Like, yeah, like trading this year for Miles, and then going to go get fucking what, like you would probably consider right now, um, either like what's his name, Shohei, as like
Yeah.
trying to go get like Patrick Mahomes, or like or or a like what's his name? I know he chokes always in the playoffs, but Allen, you know what I mean? Like a Josh Allen, like
Yeah,
trying to go
yeah, like
trade
a
for one
Josh
of those
Allen.
and having them
Yeah.
all on your same team. You know what I mean? Like it's like,
Mhm.
damn,
Yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's
And
that's
having
that's
like
that's baseball for you, man. That's
that's
when they got
baseball.
162 games and are able to, shit. Right now, Dodger tickets are crazy through the roof. You know what I mean? So it's like
Mhm.
when they're able to have 81 games at home to like that, to they can pay that much. You know what I mean? That's the crazy
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
That's why
yeah,
the salary cap is so outrageous. You know what I mean? They don't, and the deferred money. Like it's crazy how in football it's you really have to, like the GM is so important. Or like in baseball, like the GM for the Dodgers right now, like he's cool. I like the GM for the Dodgers because he's able to do. I mean, he's the guy that's the name when all these players are coming. But
Right.
I think in the back of our mind, we know like it's the owners. Like in actual baseball, it's the owners that like if you're a big pocket or you're in a big market, you're gonna be able to get those players. In football, it's like like you can have all the money in the world. Like look at Jerry Jones, you know what I mean? And it's
Yep.
like, and he's still struggling to like, you know what I mean,
Mhm.
because of that salary cap. So it keeps you
The salary cap.
tied. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
And then I hope now, because speaking of salary cap, I mean, now that we have 92 in the bank, and then it's probably gonna maybe increase. Obviously,
Jump to like
when
108 or something.
when you wear, yeah, like 92 something.
So
And
it's
I think
supposed to
when
jump to like 108 or something like that if it like post June 1st, if some or something like
post
that,
June
right? So
1st, if
yeah,
we cut Minshew by then, and if you restructure a couple deals, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you restructure Max, obviously he just wants that guaranteed money. But
yeah,
it doesn't have to be the full 28. They could be, three quarters of that, half of that, whatever, right? He's gonna make it. Max will always try to make it work, right? And then we got Spy Tech, which he's not about the nickels and dimes, and he said it pretty adamantly. I don't know if that was a shot towards Telesco or not, because Telesco is about nickels and dimes, and
yeah.
he's coupon Tom. That's who he is. And
Coupon Tom,
uh,
yeah.
we saw what happened with Josh Jacobs. I know somebody had said that it wasn't on Telesco, but I'm kind of trying to remember the timeline when he decided to go ahead and leave and everything. Telesco was already here, so that had to be
Yeah.
really on Telesco to be like, hey, you know what? Um, he's the one offering the deals. He's the guy who's in GM spot. The other
I
guys
actually
got
think
let go.
it's more on Telesco, to be honest. Like I could kind of get where those people are that are saying that come from, but I think it's more on Telesco because of the mere fact that like I think Jacobs was kind of like iffy on coming back when it was Ziegler as still the GM. But when I think they made the changes to like AP and to Telesco, I think he was back on board because you hear him talking in the Pro Bowl where he was like he was willing to stay even for
Yeah,
less.
yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean?
like,
So
let's run it back. Let's do all this
All
shit.
Telesco
Yeah,
needed to do at that point was to pick up the phone, and he probably would have had a more happy, like actually on board again, Jacobs because of the departure of Ziegler. I think
yeah,
with Ziegler here, he was iffy, and when they made that change, Telesco all he needed to do was pick up the phone and he probably would have got a coupon discount. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But because I
He was
think
already
Jacobs
getting a
made it clear.
discount.
You know what I mean?
Josh
So
was like,
Jacobs was
hey,
already making it clear
yeah,
that like he wanted to
hey.
stay for less here.
He's like, I'll stay for less. I'll take your contract. I'll take what you're giving me, but let me put some incentives. Let me put some bonuses in there. If I hit it, give it to me. If I don't, cool. Then don't worry about it. That I mean, how better can you if somebody's
Exactly.
telling you that, like, hey, you know what? Let me just throw some bonuses in there, like, just to make it make sense. And if I meet my metrics, if I hit what I got to do, then pay me. But if I don't, that's on me, and I'm down with that. That to me would have been like, all right, cool, let's do it,
Yep.
bro. Let's work through it. But he was like, no, can't do that. I'm like, fuck, dude, really? Like, and then you wait, who else? You went to get Madison, bro? I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
Like,
especially like and that's the thing too. Like, okay, you move on from Jacobs, right? Maybe you wanted to move on, you wanted to write the slate clean, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's still stupidity in my brain, you know what I mean, for that thinking. But like still the mere fact that you don't go get a Barkley, you don't go get a Henry, you don't even go get a Pollard or a Mixon, or you know what I mean, any of these guys, you know what I mean, that were still very effective this year, still rushed over 1,000 yards, you know what I mean? Like, and some of them are like Pollard on a bad team, you know what I mean? So it's like you don't go get any of these guys, you go get Madison.
yeah, and Abdullah. I
Come
mean,
on, man. Like that's the to add on it, to add on the on to not getting Jacobs, to add is you go get Madison, and that's what you want to sell to people.
yeah.
That's going to be on par with what we had. Is like man,
I
that just
know.
keeps
That's
back in haunting Telesco. I think that's just always going to haunt Telesco as the Raider GM. That's the biggest reason why I think one of the biggest reasons, because I think there's a lot of reasons, but I think that's one of the biggest reasons. That and the quarterback, you know what I mean, the quarterback thing,
oh yeah,
but
definitely Band-Aid.
that for sure.
We
Jacobs,
didn't go
that was a
up. Yeah, we
fumble.
didn't trade away the farm, or we didn't go up aggressively to try to get him. And I mean, that argument you can say, hey, Washington never wanted to let go of that number 2. All right, but we didn't get anything after that. We didn't get
Mhm.
any type of quarterback. We had to draft Bradley Carter off of what's it called?
Unsigned free agent, right?
Yeah,
Like
unsigned free agent.
undrafted,
Yeah. So
undrafted
yeah,
free agent.
undrafted free agent. Yeah. So that's the route we went. And then we decided to go ahead and get a backup quarterback to be our starting quarterback. And he had a semi good year in Indy, but that was entirely different team with a fully with an actual O line that gave him some type of protection. But even that, his decision making was always questionable. Like I went to go see tape once the thing was announced. Like, oh shit! Like yeah, like everybody who broke down film on him was like, his decision making is questionable. That's the drawback. He can make plays, and he looks good at times, but his decision making is very
Yeah,
questionable. And we saw that. We saw that it's just yeah, his I don't know where the fuck he's at when he's playing the game, but he's not in the game for sure.
yeah,
So but yeah, once we move off of him, I think we save about 7 million off the cap, and I think that takes us about 100 and a couple other deals as well, just depending who we cut. So yeah, we can projected to go over 100.
yeah.
So right before you came on, I was talking to everyone, to the audience, on who we should potentially bring back. I obviously Max is a
Oh, yeah,
no-brainer. You got to take care of the guy, give him his bag, restructure him. But also Spillane was another one. Obviously, I
for
feel
sure.
that we should definitely go ahead and keep. Chase Sons is another guy. I mean, I know we just showed it on Telesco, but we can at least give him his flowers on Chason, because that he did acquire him from
Yeah,
waivers, and he
for
brought him
sure.
over, and he ended up working out really, really good. Um, aside from Bowers and JPG and Glaze, those 4 guys, the only good thing that really Telesco did. But I mean, Chase Hunt is a guy that we keep. Who else do you think that the Raiders should go ahead and keep? Because we got 27 uh, free
Yeah,
agents potentially going out there, right?
yeah.
Going on the
There's
market.
still
I was talking to
Diablo.
Gravy last night. I was talking to your boy last night. He's like, not all the 27 are we going to keep, but I'm going to keep a fraction of that, maybe 4 or 5 guys. What do you feel like would be the ones that would stay?
Yeah, because other than the guys you named right now, or there's still like other big names on there, I think that are still probably like that people know of, like the Raiders, like actually like Arthur are probably like Epps. You know what I mean? Marcus Epps is going to be a free agent. There's still Trayvon Morig. There's still Hobbs. There's still Diablo. You know what I mean? All of these guys are thinking, but I would agree with you on Spillane and Chason. I
Mm-hmm.
like Adam Butler and Morig as well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because Morig I know is going to be a big bag. I know they're probably going to have to open up their, but I just see like when you look at safeties around the league, bro, like and to like try to get one in here to maybe jump right into Patrick Graham's system and be as effective as Morig. I don't know if we can probably bring in some guy like off the like what I mean. Like
Yeah.
I like Trayvon Morig, you know what I mean, as that back end because I just see him getting better. You know what I mean? I see that dude getting better every year. I mean, last year I think he was one of the. I mean, I know our defense wasn't much, you know what I mean, with all the injuries and stuff like that. But one guy that probably jumped out of the field or jumped off the screen when he was out there was probably Morig, and I would say for sure Spillane. You know what I mean? You've
Yeah.
seen the emergence of Chason as well. I like Chason and I would say those are probably the 4 guys like Chason, Spillane, Morig, and Adam Butler probably.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Morg, I definitely would like to go ahead and keep him. I heard something that the Raiders might have him test free agency. I don't know if that's actually true now that we got Spytek in. That might change. Hobbs, honestly, he can stay or go. Obviously, it becomes relatively
Yeah,
cheap or cheap friendly deal. Definitely, that's something that we can go ahead and have him stay on.
so many
But
injuries, man. Just,
the injuries is really the telltale sign of the
oh yeah,
story of
Coons
his
too.
story. Yeah, Kuntz
Coons as
too.
well.
Kuntz too. And that's the thing that worries me is that some of these guys are injured. Like Epps, I think we can move on from Epps. he's good, but I don't know, is he really going to come back the same? That's the
Yeah,
question you ask
yeah,
yourself,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I like
But with
Palomalo too, and
Paul
I like
Mao,
Palomalo as being the next guy. That's
yeah,
why we probably don't need Epps as bad. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. So, we can replace apps, with a different
Yeah,
guy. And still have Palma there. So there's certain things that we can guys that we can potentially move on and pick up either in free agency or over the draft. And there's some guys that it's going to be really hard to replace. So
yeah.
that's my thing. It's like who do we keep and who do we send packing? But yeah, I believe Chason, Spillane, Morig are the guys that we definitely keep. And Paul Mao is going to be the other one. Uh, Divan Diablo, we can go ahead and let that do walk. Kun, same
Yeah.
thing. If it's a team friendly thing, um, obviously resign. But if he's like, oh, you know what, I want the bag, and this is how much I want, even though I
Yeah.
only worked half a year, half a season. Look what I was able to do, and then at that point, it's just kind of they have to make that decision. I wouldn't be mad if they let him walk. I wouldn't.
Some of those guys might go check, see what they could get in free agency too, and then be like, you know what? I feel Patrick Graham's back. I probably feel more comfortable in that league where they can build up their value a little bit more, because if they go to a different system where they have to go learn a different system again and stuff like that, where they're already on the fringe and they see that their values are not already good in free agency this year, like if they go out and test it and it's not as good as they think it could be for them, I think they probably come back anyway, you know what I mean, and probably
Yeah.
take a deal with the Raiders, just because of that's why I said, when Patrick Graham, like, as much as people wanted maybe another name or something like that, I think it was big for all the free agencies that were, like, all the people that were up for free agency. Like, it
Mhm.
was very important for, like, I think those guys, like, if you want them back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think they like, I think familiarity, I think with football players is important too, because, like, I think they know how important it is. Like, if they know, like, if they go to another system, they're not gonna look the same. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
sometimes a system can hide your flaws or something like that, because that coach knows you and stuff like that. Which I think Patrick Graham might not be the best, but I think that's gonna help a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I like the resigning of Patrick Graham because his defense has been getting better, especially last year. I would not hold everything on him because the offense was trash. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, the offense was, trying to look for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Turnovers were minimal, and we were turning the ball over at a high rate. You know what I mean? We weren't getting the ball, and we were giving up the ball. We were
Yeah.
putting our defense in bad situations, the injuries, and you know what I mean? And some of those games, a lot of those games actually, the defense were the only reason we were even in those games.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So it's like, with all those injuries, so it's like, that's why I don't put too much on. Like, I'm not. I wasn't too mad at. I know some people were upset at re-signing Patrick Graham because they thought he was, could have been, expendable. But I don't know, man. I think it's very important especially for the guys that we want back. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like, because I think Spillane is going to be big for re-signing Spillane, like a Morig, Chason wasn't good in any other system, up until now. And now
Yeah.
that he got a chance, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he feels comfortable in it. You know what I mean? So I just think that it's going to be real important to the guys that we want actually back.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Yeah. So we have that continuity now with PG being back and Robbie Leonard there. We
Yep.
did acquire some other coaches, so that's even going to help more. John Glenn from the Commanders. I forgot who else they put in as well. So we got some new faces as well. So it's like as advertised, it's a mixture of both new guys and
Yeah.
continuity. So
Yes, sir.
that has to be attractive for these guys. Like, hey, you know what? I want to run it back. I already know what we do here with PG.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to go out there and learn a brand new system. Um, Mesh with these new guys that I never played with before. I've been playing with these guys for the last 2-3 seasons. I'm comfortable here, and that does
Yep.
actually matter. It's a big deal, so it's not always so much about the money. It is and it isn't. It has to make sense. You can't can't bust a Josh with these guys, but so long as you structure where it makes sense and they're getting taken care of, is ultimately also what matters. So, it'd be interesting to see who the Raiders actually decide to keep. Offensively, though, it's we got Minshew. I don't see him sticking around, right? I got Dylan Parham is another one, right?
Yeah,
He's probably gonna be gone.
he was
Andre James. Andre James, he's still there.
man,
I don't know if we
that
keep him
makes
for a death or we let him go. So that's another name. We have the other receivers that came in as well. I think Wilkerson, Turner. I forgot. I
I
think
know
I'm
we
missing a
signed
guy.
Ramel Keaton or something like that, right? I know that
Ronald
that guy
Keenan's
got
in
signed
there
later
too. Yeah, so I don't know if those guys stay or go. And
on.
then
What about
obviously running back room.
DJ Turner and well, we'll see if what's his name can start being the guy that we want him to be, Trey Tucker. But like those are still receivers that are on our thing, which they're not up for like free agency or anything like that. But
No,
they they are very. I think with the new staff, everybody's up for like review of if you're gonna be on this team. You know what I mean? Like if they're gonna make some moves, wholesale moves, like so. Yeah, DJ Turner and I like DJ Turner and stuff like that, but they just are not on the field enough. You know what I mean? And we need
yeah,
more playmakers. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. I agree. Especially at wide receiver. We need somebody tall, way over 6 feet. I think.
DK.
I know, right, DK? Wink, wink. But I think Trey is under 6 foot.
Yeah.
Jacoby's at 6 foot, or maybe 5'11" and a half, something somewhere
DJ
around
Turner's
there. I don't
under
know. Yeah. So
Keaton, but I mean Keaton. Are we really expecting him to be like so he's I think he's a little taller and stuff like that, but he's just he looks too frail. He's not a big time playmaker guy either. You know what I mean? So I mean,
yeah.
hopefully he could turn into something. You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, as of right now, we don't have that guy.
No, we don't. So yeah, no. So it'll be interesting to see if do we go out and get a big name quarterback. I mean, sorry, a big name wide receiver that we have the money. Mind you, we still got to go ahead and figure out that quarterback situation. Are we going to get a guy from free agency, or are we going to put it all on the draft, or it's going to be both? I feel it's
Yeah.
going to be
T
both.
Higgins. I know T Higgins is a big free agent name out there
Big
as
free
free as
agent.
a wide receiver too.
Yeah, let me tell you who's a free agent right now. So for wide receiver, it's Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins. Stephon Diggs is
Yeah.
number one, actually, because I use Sports Track to follow these things. So Stephon Diggs is over T. Higgins for some reason. Then it's
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, Mari Cooper, Chris Godwin, Brandon Cooks, Donate Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, and then Mike Williams. And then you got the rest. Darius Slayton is also on there as well. But those are the guys that you kind of have on free agency. A name that is on here that is very familiar is Matt Collins. I like Matt
Okay.
Collins. He actually, his average salary is not super expensive. I think he comes in about just over 2.5 million per year. He's always remember that time when he was with us. I think was in
He was he was
21. He was
he
solid,
was
bro. He was
he was effective.
dependable.
Yeah,
Mhm. And then he
for
played.
sure.
His time in Buffalo. He was solid there. So I wouldn't mind having him being brought back. He's a little bit on the older side, but we know what we can get from Mac for sure. And it is basically be a brand new team for him, in essence because it's a whole new system. But at least he'll have some familiar faces here. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the question: is like, do we go for a big name wide receiver? Or
I
do
think there's
we
only a
kind of stay
couple
with Trevor?
names in there that if we are gonna go spend, we go spend. But like I would say maybe like I like T Higgins. I know his injury, history kind of is the thing that worries people. I
Mhm.
mean, I like T Higgins though. You know what I mean? Then let's see who else on there. Like Godwin. Godwin's been. I like it. He's cool, but he gets hurt too. You know what I mean? He has also
Yeah,
those issues. Keenan Allen's a little older, possession receiver, not too much of the speed guy or anything like that. But I don't know if he's talked so much shit about the Raiders. Who knows if he even would want to come to the damn Raiders? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
no. Yeah.
there's shit. I mean, Stephon Diggs. That makes. I mean, I know he's not the guy that we're talking about, like that big guy, but I mean, he's been a number one receiver, for a while now. Like I think he could be that effective to where his size might not be as much, but damn, man, I think the draft might be a big for that. You know what I mean? For receiver, I think receiver and running back this year for some reason, like in free agency, is not like other years past. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where there's there's bigger household names out there and stuff like that, to where you just don't see those guys right now. Like I think the draft for those two spots are probably going to be very important. Like quarterback, I could see them going to go get a veteran and drafting one as well too. But like the more and more every day, I don't know, man. I just have a feeling that they're probably not going to draft the quarterback if one of those guys don't fall to them, like in like the first couple guys to number 6. I think that it's going to be. I think we're going to. They know. You know what I mean? I think that they know, like the lesson from last year being at 13, when there was a lot more quarterbacks. You seen how hard it was to get a quarterback last year. You know what I mean? 6 of them went. You know what I mean? Before they could even get to 13. So it's like now it's a lot thinner. You know what I mean? At the top, and they could probably be in that same predicament again, to where there's 2 or 3 teams that need quarterbacks in front of them. They might be stuck again without a quarterback. And I think this year they address. I think in free agency a little bit more aggressive than they were last year. They don't settle for like a Minshew this year. They're probably gonna go out, try to go get a Darnold or I mean, I want, like, I would say, like, try to see what you could go do for like a Justin Fields or something like that. Maybe even
I like Justin Fields.
Russell Wilson at a lesser degree. But you know what I mean. But it's just, I think they're going to try to hit that a lot more aggressive than they did last year. Try to get I think they still don't take them away from the fact that they still probably going to draft a quarterback, probably later on. But I still think that they cover their bases on not being left without a quarterback at 6. You know what I mean? Because they address it in free agency a little bit more better than they did last year.
Yeah. So right now in free agency, obviously Sam Darnold. That's the biggest question is who are we going to get for QB, right? But in free agency, obviously Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Marcus Mariota.
Oof.
You got Russell Wilson, and then you also have Justin Fields there. Some of the names, just to kind of throw it out there. And then now with the whole shit with Aaron Rodgers being most likely going to be released by the Jets, he's going to be also now in the mix, right? So he's
Kirk Cousins as well too, no?
Yeah, I believe Kirk Cousins is.
I think I think that there's.
Oh, they're
going
to
to sign the one.
No, he has to
most
get
likely
cut.
going to get released, right? I think most likely that's the expectation. That's the expectation that he's probably going to most likely get cut because of the cap hit and all of that shit. And then they have their guy already. They already have their guy. You know what I mean? In Penix.
Right, and then another familiar name, Derek Carr. Derek Carr could potentially be released by the Saints. It's like 50-50 right now with them. I think the new coach, Kenan Moore, was saying that, like he was saying good things about him. And so it kind of seems a little bit that he might stay, which makes sense because they're going to take like a $40 million cap hit just from his contract.
And they're way above already, aren't they?
Yeah,
that was one of the reasons why
they're negative.
This job was being like regarded as one of the worst job in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like that was, I guess that the Saints job was considered the worst job in the NFL to take, from all the opening jobs this last offseason because of the cap hell that they're in. You know what I mean? And then Carr kind of regressed since they signed him. They owe him a lot of money. You know what I mean? So it's like I think there would be. It's going to be really hard for them to build anything, which they might be looking towards the future anyway, but without Carr there, like damn,
Yeah.
what are they just planning on tanking next year for the rest of the whole year or something like that? Because
Yeah.
the cap situation that they're in, if they release Carr, it's like damn, they're gonna be yeah.
It doesn't really make too much sense for them to release him. I mean, it's kind of like you got to pay the dude no matter what. Fucking keep him, and if you're gonna start him, start him. If you're gonna sit him, sit him. Have him be your
Yeah,
backup. I
it's
mean,
hard. I think it's gonna
but
be
yeah,
hard to
like
release.
yeah, obviously when that news started breaking out of Carr being potentially released by the Saints, you already know what happened. Like everybody's on the
Oh yeah,
let's bring back their Carr train.
oh yeah.
Come on, let's get him back or retire him as a Raider bullshit. I love Carr. No disrespect to him. Great guy. I like when he was here, but at a point I knew like, hey, this guy is not the one. Like we keep hitting a wall that we can never get past, and I'm like, fuck, why is that? I'm like, is this motherfucker? We need to go ahead and get a better quarterback. We need to have somebody who has a higher ceiling. It's just Carr hit his ceiling, and so he's just always
Yeah.
going to be that guy. And so I don't want
Like
to
I could,
relive that.
yep.
I don't
Like I
want
could
to.
agree with people where they say like Carr just needed some stability here when he was here and all of this stuff. I agree with all of that stuff,
Mhm.
but the mere fact that we didn't do that, and then he's already older,
Mhm.
and if you're expecting him to do that now that he's a little older, like I think it's a little too far fetched to where yeah, I agree with you that he deserved more while he was here and maybe a better, more continuity with the coaches than being here for a longer period of time. And, they did him dirty in that sense where they kept changing and changing offensive coordinators and this and that. I get all of that, you know what I mean? But that's also not going to change the fact that he's older, he's regressed, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like it's not going to, I don't think it's going to get much better just bringing him over here. Like I think that's a lot of hopeful thinking if we think that we're gonna bring him in here and all of a sudden he's gonna become the Super Bowl quarterback that he
He's always
was,
been, yeah,
like,
supposed to
you know
be
what I
or
mean? So it's
whatever.
like
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying. Like I agree. Two things could be true, you know what I mean? Like they did him dirty in that sense, but also, like he's just not the guy for the future anymore. You know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. And I know sometimes it's just that nostalgia that we get enamored with, and you're just like, fuck, it would be cool to bring him back and retire him as a Raider. I mean, not really. When we're trying to literally put something together to become, a dominant force in the AFC and the AFC West, right? We're trying to win the division. We're trying to make the playoffs. We're trying to win a Super Bowl. It's not going to happen with a guy like Derek Carr. I mean, he could be a great backup for us. We can, and on a cheap deal, but nothing more than him. Nothing more than that. Not him
Yeah.
starting games, week in week out. It has
Like
to
if you
be
want him to
something
come
about.
back and you have that nostalgia feeling, with Carr back, and you were a big Carr fan and you want to see him in a Raider jersey, I get that point. But if you're thinking that he's gonna come back and all of a sudden take us to a Super Bowl, nah.
No, it's not. I'm not gonna. Not even with Chip Kelly here. It's not. It just doesn't work that way. And we saw it because he was there. He's been there for 3 years, or about 3 years or so, and he has stability. And you see what he has done. He hasn't done anything. He hasn't taken his team to the playoffs. So we know that's a ceiling thing. It's just who he is. It's fine. Some guys just hit that plateau, and it is what it is, and he just doesn't want to accept that, but most teams will. So that's
I mean,
that's just how it is, right?
I was a Carr fan, man. I was a big Carr
I
fan too.
mean,
It's
too.
just that
Yeah.
it's just not that it's I think it's past that right now. Right now, I think we have to be looking at other things. You know what I mean? Younger dudes,
Right.
just better value in the draft. Try to draft somebody sooner than the fourth, fifth round. You know what I mean? Because I mean, even Carr was drafted in the fourth. What's his name was drafted in the fourth. Aiden's been drafted in the fourth. So it's like I think we need to probably hit it a little sooner, in the draft. And whatever I think, whatever quarterback that we sign, like I don't
Mhm.
think it's like there's no big enough name out there other than maybe because Darnold's year last year, which I don't think his name is big enough, but I think the year that he had last year might get him the contract that you might not go draft another quarterback that early just because what you
Yes.
already have
Right.
invested in the position. You know what I mean? Because you might sign Darnold for a lot. So,
Yes. Mhm.
but like as in other quarterbacks, I don't see any of them. Fields, Rodgers, or any of those guys. You know what I mean? Like any of those guys, I don't see them to where you sign them and you don't address the quarterback position. I still think any of those other guys, you still address the quarterback position at some point in the draft, like
Right.
with any of those other names. If it's not Darnold, just because Darnold just because of the price.
Right.
So I think no
Right.
matter what, we still address the quarterback position, but in the draft. But I think that it depends on who we get in free agency. How early we draft them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I was telling Gravy last night, I'm like, bro, if we go after Darnold, we're making a commitment, and that's going to be a 4 to 5 year commitment, between 3 to 5 years, anywhere in that range. And we're not going to go out and get Cameron Shador unless he falls at
Yeah.
6. We're
No.
not going to do that. We are going to go ahead and draft a quarterback at either the 3rd or 4th round, and that means most likely
With
like
that
a Will
investment,
Howard
you're
or
not.
something like that. No, 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 you can't. Because you're paying this guy so much money. Like, why are you going to go out and get a big name like that? That's where you can literally sit a guy behind somebody for the next 3 or 4 years, 5 years, and then have him really develop and really learn the game. And so,
Yeah, and especially you don't draft one this year when that's the first year you sign him. Maybe he signs this year and then he plays like shit this year. Then you probably draft one again next year. But the year that you actually give him that contract, that's not the year that you're going to address the quarterback position in the draft too early. You know what I mean? Like you might wait a year or two to address it because he might not work out, but you're not going to address it in that same year. You know what I mean? So it's like if we go get Sam Darnold this year, I think it's very. I think for me and in my opinion, I think you're on the same page that we're not going to go draft the quarterbacks like early. You know what I mean? Like
no,
if we
we're
go
not.
get him,
No, yeah, we're gonna stay with him. He's gonna be our guy. We'll get, if it's Dart, maybe get Dart at 2nd. If they do decide to even do that, then, or they might just wait for Howard, bro. And because he already has Chip Kelly there, he has that continuity. He knows what he runs. It's just like, we just need to get you. We need to tweak things because you need to be NFL ready, because it's a different speed, different look at the NFL level, and learn this new system we're going to apply, which is uh, a shell of what we used to run in college. So he has his work cut out. He's going to be busy learning how to be a quarterback in the NFL, which is not a bad thing. That's preferably, if you had it your way, you would do it that way, and we've seen success at it in the past. So maybe that's the way they go. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see. I personally think that Justin Fields could be a guy where we're now breaking the bank. We still have money to spend somewhere else. We get a pretty good quarterback, and we can sit somebody like a Jackson Dart or Shador if we get Shador at 6. I don't think we need to go up and get these guys to trade up to like number 1 or 2. I feel like we just need to draft the best player available at 6.
Yeah.
And if that's a quarterback, great, let's do it, because that's what we need. But if a quarterback's not there, we got options. And that's always been my voice, is like, we need to have more options, because I saw how broken and how disappointed Raider Nation got when we weren't able to get anybody at 13. We got Brock Bowers, and fuck yeah, I mean, he's paid out dividends, but we didn't get a quarterback. So we need to have those options A, B, and C, and then D, and maybe F or E, right? To have there, and like, all right, cool. If this guy's not available, we go try to get this guy. If this guy's not available, we try to go after this guy.
We got plenty of freaking holes to fill. You know what I mean, on this roster. So yeah, they should have all of those contingency plans. Though. Like if there's not a quarterback this year, like obviously last year's plan it worked out, but the biggest need was quarterback. You know what I mean? And I think what makes it more glaring too, that like, damn, you didn't go get a quarterback, and which that's why I think it's looked on Telesco big time too, is because you didn't go you didn't go fill it in with which now we see in hindsight. Some people like, and I could tell you, I was one of them that maybe thought, with a good offense line, with a good, maybe a good offensive coordinator or something like that. Maybe Minshew can do stuff because he's shown flashes at times, but damn, now looking at it in hindsight, you see how the way it was played, the way the quarterback position was actually the production that he gave out. You know what I mean? It just that's the reason why you're fired. You know what I mean? You get looked on how the moves you made, were how they perform. You know what I mean? And
Right.
those like, the quarterback that he signed wasn't good. The running back that he signed wasn't good. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
they didn't really address the offensive line needs where because you got not rid of them, but you let Illuminor walk. You let you get guys like Van Rotten walk and stuff like that, which they weren't the greatest guys, but the replacements were worse. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
Andres Pete, the Cody
White hair.
Whitehairs, like those
Mhm.
they were the replacements were even worse. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
that's where the biggest thing was, like that's where he was judged on the most. You know what I mean? Like I get that he got some cool, pieces here and there, but I think those are the main things where we were like, damn, that you can look at last year and those were the biggest glaring like holes, like our offensive line, our running game, our
Mhm.
quarterback position. You know what
Right.
I mean? And like
Yeah.
you like those were like our biggest, like, you know what I mean? Because the defense, you could point at something. There were injuries. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There was injuries there, a lot of injuries. The quarterback position, you just look at it and you're like, damn, we signed Minshew. Damn, we
Mhm.
signed Madison. Damn,
Mhm.
we let our offensive line got worse. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, damn, you know what I mean? And that's one of the biggest reasons now looking back at it. Telesco, yeah, like I get Bowers, I get the JPJ and all of that stuff, but
Yeah.
you messed up in a lot of other categories.
Yeah. I
And
was.
I want to answer one thing too, like the Sam Darnold thing. It's like I want to reiterate. I don't want, like, I've been one to where was Sam Darnold has been a big free agent since people knew he was going to be a big free agent this year, no matter what. So it's like
Mhm.
I've never wanted Sam Darnold, but I think that people get it confused to where when we talk about it, like as in, if we go get Sam Darnold, we're not going to go sign nobody else or anything like that. That's not me wanting Sam Darnold or me co-signing a Sam Darnold, like a
Mhm.
sign. It's just me saying that, and I think you'd also say, like,
Yeah.
me saying that a commitment like that to somebody that big, like somebody with that's going to cost that much money, you're not going to address it, again early in the draft because of the money like involved. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like that's the only reason. It's not me saying that I want Darnold or anything like that, or that's
Yeah.
the right
Okay.
move. It's just if we do sign Darnold, I'm pretty sure that we're not gonna go we're not gonna go probably gonna get. I think we might even who knows? We might even move off the sixth pick. That somebody that wants to move up there because I
Right.
think we don't. We're not as in. It's not as important to us anymore because I think we made our investment there.
Right, exactly. And that's what it is. You're not using Darnold as a bridge at that point anymore. You're like we said, it's a commitment. You're starting that dude for the next 3 to 4 years. You're setting whoever you draft behind him for the next 3 or 4 years. That's what it would look like.
Yeah.
So everybody who's saying we need to go out and get Darnold, well, that's what you're literally kind of implying, that we go out and commit to him for the next, few years. And because Darnold doesn't want to be a bridge. First off,
Yeah.
he's like 27, 28. He's getting towards that part of his career where it's like, I got, this is my last shot to try to like literally be a franchise quarterback. That's what he wants. And so he's going to try to look for a contract very similar to that.
Yeah.
And if
For
we come
sure.
around knocking him, like, well, what's up? That's what it is. Is that because
This
we're
could be his
choosing that
only
to be
time
his
he ever
franchise?
gets paid big money. This could be the
Mhm.
only time he ever gets paid big money. So you know he's gonna look for the best deal possible.
Exactly. So that's just basically we want to put that in perspective, so that way when you say I want Sam Darnold, that's kind of what it would look like. It's gonna be a 3 to 5 year deal. It's not gonna be a 1 or 2 year deal it doesn't make sense to pay $40 million for a bridge quarterback. It's insane,
No.
right? No, you're getting a guy. If you're gonna do that, you get a guy of, a lesser either a lesser caliber or obviously lesser salary wise, where it's Justin Fields, which is like a fraction of that, and that you can go ahead and still take care of him, but not spend $40 million. You're spending like 15, 20 per year. So that's kind of what it means.
Yeah, the good thing
But
with Justin Fields is that he didn't play the rest of the year. That's the great thing. Like, he looked good in the time that he was there. Like, he looked. I think he looked better in that system. He looked better where they catered to more of his, his style. Where I think that's why a lot of people are kind of liking the Fields news now. Like, maybe bringing him on because he fits in the Cali system and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So where people feel a little bit more comfortable. But if you would have played the whole year, his number would have went a lot more up. You know what I mean? Because I don't think the Pittsburgh knows how to play like their offense. They'll run the ball. They pass when they need to. I think like he would have looked that. I think he would have looked like that the rest of the year. You know what I mean? To where his number would have went up, and him getting benched actually kind of works in, I think, teams that want him favor. You know what I mean? Because that drove the price. I think the Steelers drove the price way down for whoever wants him next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's if they don't resign him themselves, because it wasn't necessarily because of his gameplay. I think it's because they had I think that deal with I think they made that deal with the Bears, and I think it was for a draft pick. So if they sat him and they didn't play him for so much or something, they would get a lower. They didn't have to give up a higher draft pick or something like that. However that worked, I'm not sure, but
there you go.
That's what I heard.
Kind of helped everybody else though. Kind of helped like if in our situation, if we want him, we could probably get him for a lot cheaper than we would have got him. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, he signed a 1-year deal. But I think that like not playing him the rest of the year kind of helps teams that want him in the future.
Yeah,
especially this year.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the defensive free agency as well. But before I do, let me go ahead and kind of hit up the chat, because obviously chat lives do matter. And again, if you guys are tapping into the show, thank you guys for jumping on and joining us this morning on Good Morning Raiders. Make sure you guys check in and smash that subscribe button. Hit those thumbs. Help me keep supporting the show. Same thing, I put up Raider Nation's live channel as well on the description. So make sure you guys go ahead and go over there. Give him a sub.
Gravy was on the channel yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Damn, Gravy hasn't hit me up, man. I thought he still had COVID.
He's still around here, I think. He was on the chat earlier right now, and
I seen him. I thought he had COVID, because I know Lowe's been sick, and shout out to Lowe. He always has the channel running and stuff like that. Yeah. So that's why we weren't on this week, but we should. I think we're gonna get back to it on Sunday. You know what I mean? Get another show going on Sunday. But they were both under the weather this week.
Yeah. I know. I've been sick for like almost a month now too, bro, and that's because of my kids, man. The kids are germ spreaders. So
there were no shows, dog. There were 2 no shows this week, dog.
I know, right? You're like, damn, bro, come on, just come in, bro. But let me hit up the chat again. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Let us know your thoughts as well, for sure. My guy EC, I'd be shocked if Spytek, Brady, Olsen, or Carroll had any interest in Darnold. Yes, you have the conversation, but it's a quick conversation and a quick next. Facts.
I hope so, and I hope we hit it in another direction. But I think we're just a lot of news out there of Carroll. I mean of Darnold to the Raiders. So
yeah,
hopefully it's all just smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, for sure. My guy Raider Food Chris, I don't know, but I really hope we don't pay Darnold half of our cap space to get him. Saying, bro, that would eat up so much cap.
40 to 50, right? Is where it's expected at to sign this year?
40. It's like 440 for 3 or something like that. The projected. It's a lot. And then he fucked up 2 important games, which was the one for the number 1 seed versus the Lions game, right? They fucked that one up, and then they fucked up their playoff game. Terrible against the Rams. Terrible. And they had the advantage, bro, because they didn't play in LA. They went and
Remember,
played
he has
in Phoenix because of the fires.
Justin Jefferson over there too. Justin Jefferson and what's his name too? The guy from USC too, the quarterback, Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
They had some good receivers over there too, man. So it's like, yeah, man. Like he I'm not saying that he didn't play great this year. He played great this year, but like, damn, sometimes that 1 year when you have those type of receivers, those type of weapons, like, are we confident that he can do that here? Like with, I mean, obviously he has Bowers, which he might have the best tight end in the game. I mean, Jacoby's also too, but damn, it's just iffy, man. If you can guarantee me he's gonna have those type of years for the next 2, 3 years, 4 years, I wouldn't be totally opposed to it. I mean, because he did play great. He did play good, like out of his body this week. I would say this year. But it's just so iffy with
iffy that playoff performance was just it was terrible. So
you would have went like a shootout with the Rams or something like that, and the defense was the cause
by a little bit, Yeah,
that
would have been different.
Okay, but
nah, they got manhandled, bro. They got dealt with, and it was pretty funny. It's pretty dramatic too. So yeah, I that's why I'm not good with Darnold. It's just on those games that do count. That's why even too when Gravy says, "Well, what's up with Shador? He fucked up in that bowl game." I can't really say much because it's true. He didn't show up for that bowl game, and that's also making his draft stock go down. And that's why I've been saying like Shador is not going to be number 1 overall. He thinks he's going to be number 1 overall, but in reality, no, bro, you're not going to be number 1 overall. You're going to be top 10.
No, I think he kind of went back from it. I think that he's seeing like the pundits and all of that stuff trying to talk about it now and how they're not a lot of people are not projecting him. And now when they asked him, because during the season and all of this shit, he was like adamant about, he was even like trolling to where like there was no way he was not going number 1 or this and that. Like he was so adamant about going number 1. Now when they asked, I think the last time they asked him, he said, "Why would I be mad if I didn't go number 1?" That's totally different from the answers that he was giving before. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just I think he's already kind of knowing too. Like I think he kind of knows he ain't going 1.
He ain't going 1 now. No, and especially with like a guy like Abdul Carter, bro, where fuck everybody's talking about that dude.
His teammate as well too. You know what I mean? Travis. So it's like I don't know, man. I could see him falling 2-6 now. Is the Brady and his connection so big that to where they don't pass that up?
Yeah. I don't think they would. I don't think they would. I told Jeff and Gray, I'm like, if he's there, they're gonna get him, and they're gonna get him. If they really want, if Mark and Brady want him, they're gonna get him. They're gonna tell Spytech, you need to draft him, bro. If he's there, get him. I don't think they'll go up to get him, like trade up. But if he's there, cool. We're gonna grab him. I don't know. We'll see. Right. My guy, we the people appreciate you tapping in. My guy Jack. Thank you for jumping on, brother. Darnold, 1 good year, bounced around. I give the credit to a very deep team. Facts, bro. So that's kind of what it looks like. It's just that. That's also a gamble too. Like, are you willing to roll the dice and pay this guy so much money and then having him just bust out?
I just think like a deep team. I think we calling them a deep team though because of the results. You know what I mean? Because I think at the beginning of the year they were I think they were slated to end like 3rd or 4th in that division. I think they were even like. There was some people even saying that the Bears were going to end up in front of them. You know what I mean? Because of the Darnold signing in, because the way that Kevin O'Connell had named, with JJ McCarthy getting hurt in preseason, and then them having to like kind of like move on from that and like actually commit to Darnold. I think at the beginning of that last year's season, like people were off on the Vikings. You know what I mean? I think they only thought that they had like Justin Jefferson, you know what I mean? And then what the year that they had, you know what I mean? Like I think that kind of But that's why the reason why I'm with you as much, like I wouldn't be as like that's why I said I would be more on the Darnold train to sign him if he didn't have, like you said, that game in the playoffs, those last two games.
The
I
last
mean,
two
those
games
were when they were on the line. You know what I mean? Like he could have got the number 1 seed. He fucked up. He went, he went in, and then he just totally had a bad game in the playoffs, and that just takes you back to that, like that, and leaves you that bad taste in your mouth to where you have that, like that in your mind, to where he was saying that he was seeing ghosts out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is one of the guys the only quarterback ever that's ever said like he was seeing ghosts out there, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's something you want to get out of your fucking quarterback, bro. Like you seen phantom cornerbacks out there and shit. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's like that. Those performances last year just reminded me of that. Like, did he start seeing ghosts against the Rams again in the playoffs?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that kind of worries me with that. But I will say that his year, like this total year, off the chain for sure. Like, I think that I think that was actually an overachievement. I wouldn't say that too much of a deep team. They overachieved. I just think they more overachieved than anything. Like they overachieved, and once they got to playing some good teams like the Rams and the Lions late, they kind of went back down to what they were actually kind of slated to be in the beginning of the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. We the people is I'm not a big fan I'm not big on Darnold. He's terrible against the blitz. Chiefs and Broncos like the blitz.
For sure.
Facts, bro. Yep.
That's when the ghosts come out.
Yep.
Start blitzing, the ghosts come out.
I know the ghosts. Oh, shit. Don't get fucking stacked. My guy Arnie is who's the best talent from free agent pool, any position, elite talent. Obviously, I think T. Higgins is probably going to be up there. As far as on free agent pool talent. You got Trey Smith.
I think one of our own is going to be one of the top free agents at safety if they let him hit safeties. If Morig hits the safety market,
yeah,
he's going to be one of the top free agents in. Like, that's why I'm like, I hope they do what you said, bro. Like that, they don't let him hit the free agent. They don't let him test it because I think a lot of teams are going to offer him some money.
Yeah. They can always franchise tag that dude too. They can always do that. So
man, I think
they're willing to spend the money for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna sign somebody and franchise somebody, like I would hate to do it, but because Morig, if you do franchise him, I mean he gets paid top dollar. He gets paid what, top 5 money of any free safety in the league, right? If they franchise him.
Let me see.
I think that's the rule. If you franchise them, they get like the average from the top 5 salaries at your position. They average that out, and that's what you get paid. So that's your franchise year. Like, so if you get, I mean, he'll get paid good for that 1 year. It's just that you see when players get franchised, sometimes they'll hold it against them in the next fucking negotiation.
Yeah.
The next time negotiations come around, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Morig is, I mean, he would be a candidate for that for sure.
Oh, he would definitely be a guy that you might want to keep on there. Hold on. Franchise tag. Okay. I'm on this thing where we can check how much would be a franchise tag. I think it's about 19. About 19
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
because I think there's some I think the average safety, like the big times, like the the ones that were getting paid big time money last year, they're getting paid around that much. So it's the average between the top 5. It's like every time they franchise, it's like the salary of the top 5 positions in that position. So if it's like, say if it was like Max, right?
Yeah.
If he was going to get franchised, they'll get like the salaries from TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, and like all of theirs, and then average it out, and then that's what they get paid that year for the salary. You know what I mean? So like in the franchise, so it's a big number. No matter what, it's a big number because every single top 5 fucking defensive end that's getting paid big time money is getting paid over like 25 million, 28 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a big time. So, and at safety, they're around like what, 20 to 24 million or something like that.
Yeah.
top five.
Yeah, I
The
think
top
so.
five is safeties.
I think so. Something like that. Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
19 million would be his average. Like, 19 million at free safety. That's a big number.
Yeah.
But
That is a big number.
does franchise count against the salary cap? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anything where
Yeah,
it's
right.
team based, yeah, it does. And I mean, you have potential to replace him if you let him walk. You have just so let me jump into the free agent for defense.
Yeah,
I mean, you got Khalil Mack out there. You got Hassan Reddick, another linebacker. You have Carlton Davis. You have Tavarius Ward. You have DJ Reed at corner. You have Justin Reed from Kansas City. So that's potentially you can go ahead and replace him with. Kuntz, if you decided to let him walk. Josh Sweat from Philly, who just won the Super Bowl, is a free agent now.
Had a big game.
Most
Big
likely
game in the Super Bowl.
they probably will keep him. So I don't know if you would count even that dude, but he is out there as well.
Yeah,
So
because I think they're gonna lose. I think they're gonna lose Graham this year too, because I think he's gonna retire.
mhm.
Because I know Fletcher Cox retired last year, and then I think Graham was trying to get one this year to stay back on this year. He came back for the Super Bowl, but I think they might lose him. I think I think Josh Sweat will probably resign there.
Yeah, for sure.
Running
And
back,
then
try to run it back.
yeah, you got Chase Young available from New Orleans, so that's a guy you could potentially replace Coons with. So it's more the defensive free agent market. It's more deep than offensive this
Oh
year.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
you can potentially because that was I talked about it on Monday's show. Is like okay, so we saw the blueprint. I mean, we started that blueprint, and you could say like other teams have started that, but we within the recent time, we really put that blueprint out there on how to beat Mahomes. Now we just did it kind of we barely pull out that win, right? Because we won by 6, but you saw what a good defense and a really good offense can go ahead and do. A top-rated
We
defense
should have pulled it
and a
off
good
this year
offense.
too.
Yeah, we should have pulled that off. Yeah, but with these guys, you can never let KC back in, and Philly just put the foot on the gas and didn't stop, bro. And that's what you need to do. You need to cut these guys off at the jugular. If not, you can let them back in. You let the refs back in, and they can potentially steal it. So, do you beef up the defense? I mean, we got a lot of good pieces in place, but do we go out and get a couple big names to go ahead and fill it at either edge, corner, safety?
Would you
the question.
if you had to pay the same money to Khalil or Kuntz, who you paying it to?
Ooh, that is a good one. I don't know.
If they were both gonna come for the same money for the next, say, a 3-year deal, who are you gonna give that money to? I know Khalil's a little older.
Khalil's gonna be 34 this year.
But Kuntz is also has the injury.
ACL injury. Mm-hmm. We don't know how he's gonna come back, and we still know that Khalil still has it in the tank. He still performs at a pretty good high level. Man, that is hard. What would you do? And then same thing for the chat. Who would you guys pick in that scenario? Because
that's 2 years. Just say next 2 years for the next 2 years, because people say that Mike might only have 2 years. If you could pay them the same amount for the next 2 years, who are you paying that money to? Fuck, man. I'm never I like Kuntz, but I always say it's off of we base them off of 8 games, because before that, I know people were saying they never really let him loose. They never gave him the time, and that 8. And then after that came his injury. You know what I mean? So it's like I would be on the same boat if we saw the same Kuntz last year. You know what I mean? Without that injury. But that shit just worries me so much, though. It just fucking worries me so much with him, like that injury shit with him.
Yeah, we already got some people saying Kuntz. Billy Davis says Kuntz all day. Jack is like Mac. Kuntz only had one good season on a 2-year deal. So Mac.
It wasn't 8 games too. It wasn't even really. It wasn't even a season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's an ACL tear, y'all. So
I'm Mac biased. I'm probably Mac biased. So I probably would go Mac because I'm more biased. He was one of my favorite players as a Raider. You know what I mean? So I know like recently with him being as a Charger, you know, it's been fuck Khalil Mack. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I probably would take Mac. That's just me. I'm biased towards Mac. Probably that. That's probably the reason why. But yeah, Coots does have the age. Coots does have the age, and maybe, you know what I mean, could be better for longer. But I don't know, man.
Well, I think Mac is the safer bet. I think Mac's a safer bet. Yeah, that would be sick. But I think Mac is a safer bet because I don't know what was his last injury, but not as far as I know, not anytime recently. But it hasn't been severe to the point where it's like, fuck, I literally fucked up my knee, it destroyed it, and I had to have it rebuilt and shit. You know, that's what it looks like. That's what it is with Kuntz. It's just like he tore his shit. I mean, the now how they do it and the recovery is much faster. It's better. I think it's less invasive and stuff.
I don't even have to buy a new jersey. I don't even have to. I can just bring up.
There you go. See? Yeah. There you go. There you go. So that, yeah, I mean, if that's the case, but you know how much Khalil wants? Well, his previous average is 19.2, so just under 20. So
I know, but I don't think what's his name is going to cost any cheaper. You know, what I mean, I don't think
going to be roughly about the
injury, same. I don't think regardless of injury, Kuntz is not going to come any cheaper than that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and now that Mac is getting released, I know he knows that his number's under that now. No, it's under 19.2. He's not going to go to another team and get 19.2. He probably will get like 15, 14, wherever, somewhere on that. So, I don't know, man. But I mean, I'm just saying, I probably wouldn't be a good person to ask this question because it's going to be Mac all day. You know what I mean? It's going to be Mac all the time because it's just, that dude, first player ever to get, you know, all pro at 2 positions in 1 year. You know what I mean? That's different.
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. But yeah, I mean, that's what's out there. So I don't know. I feel that you might go out and get a defensive player at free agency, beef up that defense more. You'll fill it in with your draft picks, but let's say you say at 6 and Shador and Cam are gone, they're probably going to go ahead and try to swing for Mason Graham, and that would be 6. So you got your interior set. You might need that linebacker position beefed up with to pair somebody good with Spillane. That's where you can go ahead and go out and get a match.
A lot of people have us taking Will Johnson up.
That too. A lot of people have Will Johnson.
Yeah.
But Mason Graham has really been gaining steam the last like couple weeks.
For sure.
Yeah. So
especially because we have that need. Especially because we have a lot of needs. So a lot of these guys at the top, we could pick up a party of any of them and be like, yeah, we needed that. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of these guys at the top, a running back, shit. Like, I know a lot of people say that Genty would be stupid at 6. Like, but to be honest, that's a big need. Like, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at 6, but that's a big need that we need too. So it's like literally you could pick any of the top guys at 6 and be like, damn, we needed that. You know what I mean? We could pick an edge rusher because if we don't sign Kuntz, we could say we needed Abdul Carter. If we, you know, a running back, we needed Genty. A quarterback, we need a quarterback. You know what I mean? So a receiver, if you take that guy from fucking Arizona, we need a receiver like that. You know what I mean? So it's like any pretty much any position, you could be like, damn, we needed that.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. But yeah, I mean, that's out there, and I wonder if the Raiders are going to go ahead and swing for. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to get any from the Philly guys, like Sweat or Bond, because Bond is also available. He's also on free agency as well. I don't know if they can. I'm pretty sure they're going to resign both of those dudes back to the team. I don't really see them letting them go, huh?
Him and Spillane would be a great fucking little duo.
Him and Spillane would be sick. Yeah. So imagine that. I mean, if you're beefing up your defense to go literally stop and destroy KC and San Diego and Denver, because we're playing them twice a year. You got to beef up that defense, and having some of those guys back there and that linebacker position at corner and those deep trench, man, we're gonna be holding guys to literally. We're already doing it. We're already holding them most of the time under 20. We're gonna be holding them like at 10 or less. It's
I
gonna
trust
be
I trust Pete's too, like his mind at defense too. Like
yeah,
he knows what he needs at defense. I think he knows what holes that he's gonna need to fill at defense. What I mean, especially with all like he's with this time. I think he's using all this time to know what holes that he's gonna need to fill in free agency. You know what I mean? Because he's so familiar with the league, bro. Like the players in the league already. You know what I mean? Like he's only been out of the league for 1 year, bro. Like he's so familiar with this league. You know what I mean? I think, and it's just he's still teaching at fucking USC. You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah,
Pete. I think Pete knows what he's gonna need for the defense now. Chip and Spytek, I think, are gonna be big time for like on the offense, bro. Like what are they gonna need on the offensive side? Because I think Chip runs a certain style to where, yeah, I think it's evolved more to where I think he's a little bit more. It's a little bit more wider range now to where like he fits more players in his system now than I think
yeah,
before. It was more of a player in a box type shit. You know what I mean? Like you needed this type of player to run Chip Kelly's offense. You know what I mean? You needed this and
yeah,
this type of player. You know what I mean? So I think he's been a lot more flexible on that too now, where you could have a different type of quarterback back there. Like before, it was you had to have a guy that was going to run the ball literally half of the time. You know what I mean? Back then, like with the Mariotas and shit like that, to where you know what I mean. It's like now you see a Will Howard to where he runs what he needs to, and it's effective, but it's
mhm,
and his offense is also not always 100 miles an hour. If it needs to slow down, he can slow it down. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He'll call in a huddle. It's not no huddle offense to where that can sometimes leave your defense, vulnerable because if you go 2-3 and outs when it's no huddle, you're literally putting your defense out there with no rest every time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah,
and I think he's known that, like he's worked more with that with Chip Kelly. So I think Chip Kelly and and as far along with Spytek, bro, like I think they know what type of quarterback they're gonna need to bring in. That's why I like Justin Fields, because
mhm,
maybe they do something with his his it's his accuracy that I think that has everybody kind of like iffy on him. But if you could
mhm,
get that, I'm telling you, dog, into like even the high 60s. I know he's like in the sometimes could be in the high 50s, low 60s. If you can even
mhm.
get into the high 60s, bro, Justin Fields and Chip Kelly's offense can be very, very effective, though.
Yeah, yeah. No, for sure. I mean, he can run that RPO spread offense. So, I mean, I think he would fit well there for sure. But yeah, I posted up your question from earlier. If you could pay both the same salary, who would you sign as a free agent? So far it's 50-50, bro. I mean, I just put it up. So only four people voted, but there's
I was
almost 30
gonna say,
people in the building. So make sure you go over there
yeah, just vote.
and put in
I
your
know I've seen a
vote.
lot of quotes on there, so it'll probably move to that side right now. But I'm just saying, just remember when we had it. I know Mac probably has lost a step, but even when you see him out there, like when he's out there and he's playing now, like that dude's still one of the. You can still see he's one of the top defensive ends in this league.
Oh yeah,
Still,
yeah, yeah.
with a lost step. What if you say he still wants, like if you say he lost a step, he's still one of the better defensive ends in this league. Maybe
Mhm.
not top 5 or anything like that, but he's definitely still one of the better defensive ends.
Oh yeah, for sure. My guy Ernie says Mac affects both the run and the pass every play, just like Mac. Sometimes better can take over a game. Yeah, that's definitely a thing, man.
Definitely.
So
Remember that?
yeah,
Remember that
my
Carolina
guy
game?
EC, yeah, that Carolina game,
Remember what
huh?
he did to Cam Newton? You guys remember what he did to Cam Newton when Cam was actually Cam?
I know. My guy EC says I'd rather sign Chase on the cheap and pay Milton Williams at tackle, Wilkins Williams resign Butler, draft Graham, Max Chase on Tyree, and Snowden on the edge plus a pick in rotation. There you go. Not bad. Not
I think
mad at
what like they say, we're gonna be spenders, bro, and like
Oh, we definitely
the
gonna
way
be
that
spending.
they
Mhm.
the way that they say that we're gonna be spenders and like defensive end being like one of the deepest positions in free agency. Like literally defensive ends, like that's where you see the big names in free agency this year. Like
Mhm.
usually, like last year was running backs. You seen like running backs big time free agent market. You know what I mean? Like other years you'll see other positions. This year, I think you can look at position by position, and defensive ends is the one like to me that sticks out. To
Yeah.
where like if you're gonna be and you know when you could kind of put it together, like and you're gonna want to get effective players that you know with this year. I think this is the year that we probably bring in another guy that is probably gonna be a big time. You might see a tandem dog to where like Max and somebody else to keep Max happy. Like Kuntz could probably be that guy because
Yeah.
Kuntz could come out and they could probably think that Kuntz is that guy and they are gonna pay him that money. They are gonna make that investment in him, but with the defensive end, like the free agency class being so high, I can see them signing somebody big time in like out of that
Mhm.
list.
Yeah, for sure. My guy Ernie says, "Can you imagine Max, Wilkins, and Graham on our D line this year with Butler, Wilson, and Chase on Walu on the bench, bro? That trench would be deep. That would be deep for
Crazy,
sure.
crazy.
Yeah.
You
We the
need it. I
people
mean, you
says,
see what the Eagles did.
yeah, yeah. No, for sure. I know. That's what I'm saying. Like the blueprints there is just
Mm-hmm.
not all the teams are going to be able to replicate it because of either contracts or salary or even draft capital. It's just every situation is different. But we're in a particular situation where we do have a good amount of draft picks. We do have a lot of cap space right now, so we have money in the bank to spend. And so we can go out and get potential big names in free agency and also in the draft as well. We the people
Yeah.
says Chip Kelly plays both now, read option or under center, zone run,
Yep.
power to run. He plays it all now, depending on how the defense is playing. Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, that's what
I'm
that's
saying
what
he's
he was
more.
saying. That he's changed it.
He yeah. He adapted more to the NFL game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. He said Chip Kelly turned Quishon into Debo 3.0. Yeah. Arnie says new QB room. Fields Monroe, AOC. What do you think? I mean, I don't know about Milrow, bro. I'm
Yeah.
not a Milrow
Who's the
fan.
odd man out in that picture? Who's like the odd man out?
Yeah,
Like
out of those three you mentioned, somebody doesn't
AOC
fit.
just does not have the game. You know what I mean? Does not
Yeah.
have the same nothing of that same similar
Yeah.
game. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah, that's what I was telling Jeff. I'm sorry, bro. I know you're the UC's your guy, but he doesn't fit into the system. You know, it just he can't run. He
shit.
could throw, and
Yeah.
he's pretty accurate. He's not really accurate, but that's more of a decision making thing. But it's
I
just
could see more of
yeah,
like a Fields, like a combo. If you're gonna combo like not veteran because Fields is not that old, but like if you're gonna combo somebody like in free agency and the draft, I would go Fields Howard.
mhm, yeah.
I would just I
I
don't
like
know. I
that
just
too.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. Walt says Fields, Mac Jones, Trey Lance, Daniel, just whatever. That not Mac Jones, maybe Trey Lance. I'm cool with that. Not Daniel Jones. We see that dude's trash. So I don't know. My guy Jack, the best take of the day and Arnie's picture of the DL posted. I don't know what picture you're referring of. I can't see any pictures. So
Oh yeah, I don't know pictures
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Let's see. Arnie says rumors are 4 QB going in the first round due to needs. Cam Shadur, Jackson Melrose. So that leaves us with Gabriel Howard Ewers in the second. Who would you pick? I don't think Melrose goes in the first, bro. And I don't think Jackson, if he does go in the first, is gonna be low first. So I don't know. I mean, I could still see picking up Jackson in the second. Obviously, the combine is going to be the telltale sign and their last chance to kind of make the final
Yep.
push. But Milro's just athletic; he can run, but his throwing ability, his accuracy is all questionable. So, but I mean, just to answer your question, so if I were to pick somebody in the second, I would get Howard. What about you, Gabe?
Yeah. I'm going.
Who would
I'm
you get
going.
in the second?
I mean, in the second round, I mean, I think if you had to put me to like one of those questions, I don't know if Howard. I know Howard's jumping up the draft boards. Like
Mhm.
he's been recently saying that he's been moving up, but I don't know, man. I honestly think he probably will be picked like in the third, fourth round.
Mhm.
But I mean, if you go say like go, I would say if out of those names, and he didn't even put, Gabriel Howard or yours, yeah, I'm saying Howard for sure out of those
Yeah.
three names. I think Gabriel, I like Gabriel, but I mean his accuracy can be cool, but his accuracy is actually really good. Like that's the one thing
Yeah,
that
he's
I like
actually really
about him.
good. It's just his
But
height.
just small, man. He's just a small dude.
Yeah, he's 5'11",
I know
5'10".
people want to compare him to like Drew Brees or whatever like that shit, but man, like Drew Brees is one in the. Are you guys banking on him being Drew Brees? Like, cause
Mhm.
damn, the anticipation from Drew Brees was like nobody other. You know what I mean? The anticipation
Yeah.
throws from Drew Brees. I get it. He's on that same like because he uses his accuracy for everything. But damn,
Yeah, he's a
I
good
don't know
scramble
about
too. The kid can run. He scrambles good. He's able to go ahead and get out of trouble, but it's just that height factor. I mean, compare. All right, so if you compare Gabriel and Howard, I think it's like half a foot,
yeah,
a
at
difference.
least, at
Yes,
least.
Howard's like 6'3", and Gabriel's like 5'10". It's the night and day. I mean, even Aiden O'Connell, he's like 6'2", 6'1", something like that. So he can definitely
He's
see.
like
He's a
60,
tall kid. Yeah. So it does kind of matter a
man.
little bit.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
just small, man, for me. But I mean, yeah, like I don't see him being our quarterback. Shit.
We the people says dog Milrow can't read an defense to save his life, and he's a one read QB. Yeah, there you go. So he's like, I'm not big on Howard, but I take him over Milrow. There you go. Facts, bro. Arnie says Nora has the most athletic ability of all QB. It will test the charts at will test off the charts at the combine. We'll go in the first round like Richardson. I
Take
mean,
the
it's
charge over.
yeah. I mean, it's not that the kid is not he's not athletic. We know that. We all know that. It's just his ability. Can the dude throw? Can the dude be accurate? Can the dude be able to read a defense? That those things matter, And why you think like Shador's stock is as high as it is because he's able to read those defenses, and he makes pretty good decisions. So that's really the telltale sign that you kind of want to look for in the quarterback. So yeah, I don't know. Jack is like Gabriel is a Doug Flutie just short. Yeah, yeah.
He's left-handed too, huh?
I think so.
Gabriel's left-handed, huh? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Arnie says, "Would you be upset if we don't draft a QB, sign Fields, and Lance's backup?" I think you have to draft a quarterback,
Lance is a
no matter
backup.
what. Mhm. I like Trey Lance. I do.
like Trey Lance too.
Yeah, you haven't seen that much of that kid. He's been on the bench most of the time. When he
He
did
hasn't got
play
a
us
chance. I don't think he has
preseason,
gotten a real chance.
no, when we saw him at
He did
preseason,
kick
he
our
looked
ass in
good.
preseason, huh? He kicked
He
our ass in
fucking looked
preseason.
good. That kid lit it up. That's why I'm like, all right, he's cool. Like I ain't mad at that dude. But I still feel, I mean, unless you're gonna keep, but that means you got to keep Trey Lance again on the bench, bro. For what? If you're gonna bring him on, you're gonna bring him on.
I'm more to the. I just look more like we'll see what Chip has like in his just more of his track record. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I don't see him like if Chip was at Oregon, I don't think he goes gets Dylan Gabriel. Like I think people connect Dylan Gabriel to like maybe because Oregon was Chip was an Oregon coach before, and Dylan Gabriel played at Oregon last year. But I think that's not Chip's type of quarterback. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he goes gets Dylan Gabriel. You know what I mean? I think he's gonna go get I don't know. I just don't see him going to go get that. I see more of like the reason why, I could see him being like, hey, this kid already knows my system. You know what I mean? Even if they do address the the quarterback in free agency. I could see them like if they don't go pay Darnold, like we were talking about earlier, if they go pay somebody else to where it's like a bridge, I could see him being real high on Will Howard, bringing in Will Howard still.
Oh yeah,
Because he already knows his system, probably already feels comfortable, you know what I mean? So it's like that's why too, like you can make that jump a lot easier for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna put what Walt said. With the Raiders, it will come down to what Minnesota does, and it probably will be, bro. Because if Minnesota decides to re-sign Darnold and keep him there for the next 5 years or whatever, that's gonna go ahead and change our thought process a bit. So people, and then some of these beat writers forget, like Minnesota most likely will probably want to keep him. I mean, they got McCarthy, yeah,
Or
but he's just
we could
coming
be
off that
like,
ACL turf too.
I think we the people said earlier too, or we could be like we the people like said, and we might not even be high on Darnold. You know what I mean? And then we might just have our sights on somebody else too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
it could, like, if we do have our sights set on Darnold, yeah, that statement for sure. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna have to wait on them, but I don't know, man. I just think that I don't see Darnold now that we signed Chip Kelly. I think Darnold was a bigger option before we signed Chip Kelly, just because we were in the unknown of like who was going to be the next offensive coordinator. I think right now, I would say, I think we probably have our eyesight set on somebody else, like a Fields or somebody like that too.
yeah,
For some reason, I think that we probably aren't going to wait for what Minnesota's going to do for him. That's in my position. But if they are looking at Darnold, for sure that we are going to have to wait on Minnesota.
yeah, yeah. And then I know now that Getsy's not here, Fields is gonna be like, okay, cool. I can kind of see, myself in Vegas, and especially trying to be under Chip Kelly, which he just came off winning the Natty for my alma mater. Fuck yeah, like let's see what's up. Like let's talk, let's make it make sense. Yada yada yada. Yeah, we the people's like look at QB Chip coach while he was at head coach at UCLA. Yeah. Let's see. Arnie's
Was it that DTR? Wasn't that DTR?
Think so.
What's the backup that was at fucking in Cleveland? Forgot his fucking Dorian Thompson Robinson or something like that.
Yeah,
Dorian.
I think it was DTR. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, look.
That was one of them. Yeah, that was one of them for sure. I know that he was one of their quarterbacks for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Arnie's like choose one: DTR, Fields, Lance, or keep AOC. Definitely not keep AOC. I would choose Fields over everybody else right there in that list for sure. Yeah, Walt's like we don't sleep. We can't still get JJ McCarthy from Minnesota. Don't sleep. We can't still get.
Hey, I think if Minnesota, I think that like I agree with like if what Minnesota does that in that case, do we go steal any of their quarterbacks? Like not steal, but like
I don't think they would give him up anyway. They wouldn't give him up because they went up to get him. It's just he has that ACL tear, and they really still haven't seen like a whole lot of him. Yeah,
no, but what I mean is like I think they're thinking about like how we were talking about earlier. Like if they do make that investment in Darnold too, like if they go pay $50 million for Darnold, or does that kind of like point to like, okay, we don't care how high we were on JJ McCarthy, like that investment kind of shows like, okay, we were high on you, but Darnold is our future, because Darnold's still young enough to be kind of their future. You know what I mean? Like,
you're gonna have to sit back. Yeah, they're probably gonna tell me you have to sit back and wait, for your time, and that's just that is what it is. If this guy goes down, then that's where you.
What I mean is Minnesota they can have a trade chip. What I mean is like then Minnesota can have a trade chip, because that investment they can have a trade chip to where like we have all this invested here, and maybe we could pick up because they traded up last year. Maybe there's a team out there willing to give up a first round. I don't know if they will because of his injury shit. Nobody's seen him, but like maybe there's a team out there willing to give up a first round, and they made that investment already in Darnold. They who knows? Did they take it? Did they take it for JJ? Because they might now that they see that they have an investment in the quarterback position, do they now churn their do they churn their somewhere else to where okay, maybe we can go get a first round pick and go get an Abdul Carter or somebody like that, pair it up and go get an Abdul Carter that we might need that more now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, I mean, my thing is that if you trade away McCarthy, who else is going to be behind Darnold? At that point, and you have a good prospect, and McCarthy he is what it is. He's still a good prospect. They went up to get him, so I think they would keep him and just let him sit. Yeah, and hey, this is a time where you have to learn. You're gonna learn the game. You're gonna take this time to sit behind him, get the flow of the game. You might get some snaps.
I see that too. It's not as much money. It's not as much money as paying. I can see that too because it's not as much money as actually paying 2 franchise guys because you still have them under the rookie contract and you already made that deal.
You already made the deal.
When you're looking forward to it, the way it had it, the way that they had it last year, you could draft the court. You can draft somebody still, but I think now. In our situation, we're not gonna go pay Darnold and go get a first round pick at 6. You know what I mean? Theirs because it's hindsight now. Okay, Darnold fucking performed is great, so now we could just pay Darnold and see and just have JJ just sit back. You know what I mean? They're not. It's just, but we'll see, man. We'll see how that happens out because I don't want any of them to be honest.
Yeah, no, for sure. We the people's I agree. Before we hired Chip Kelly, Darnold made the most sense. But with Chip here now, I'm confident we aren't looking at Darnold the way the media says.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it's a lot of they're doing more shit for clicks and to put news out there because it's slow right now. I mean, it's the off season.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, the rumors are starting to people with inside sources, right? But I mean, they're gonna.
We know how that works out.
We know how that works. So it could be just a narrative that they're trying to push out there for right now, but it might not be the actual case, in the building. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
You know what I think it is? You know how they say they just make so many narratives to where it's that saying comes into effect, dog, to where you throw so much shit on the walls just to see what sticks. You know what I mean? They just see what sticks. You know what I mean? Even they said even a
Russell,
a broken clock's dead right 2 times. Yeah. 2 times.
Remember
right?
Russell? It was first we were top line Russell. Now it's Darnold. Now it's Aaron Rodgers for some fucking reason because
they named every single quarterback that's available to where it obviously. They're gonna come back when one of them is signed. They're gonna come back to that one narrative and they'll be like,
I told you guys it was gonna be this guy.
Yeah, you named every single fucking quarterback, bro.
It sounded like somebody had a hit.
You're bound to get one right. It's like when you bet on the roulette table, you bet on every single fucking number. It's like, of course you're gonna hit on one.
All right. So that's kind of where all that's stemming from. It's just these beat writers and whatnot. They're throwing shit out, they're throwing darts out there.
I kind of say I kind of try to tell my take, and I'll be like, what I would really want is if we're gonna sign and it's not gonna be no trades involved or anything like that, I would say Fields and Howard for me right now. Unless at 6. You know what I mean? And the only way I would say because I'm not gonna go back if Shador's there or Cam Ward's there, fucking take them at 6 and you know what I mean. I'm not as low as on them too to where if they drop to 6, I'm not gonna pass them up. I'm not low. I'm not that low on them to where if they go to 6, I'm not gonna pass them up. Dog. It's just obviously I would want one of them if they do drop to 6, but. If it's not gonna be it and Shador and what's his name are gonna go ahead, I would say, I would like a Fields and a Howard or something like that. You know what I mean? That would be cool for me.
Yeah. Eric Rader Hater says I've had to spend money. Give me Stafford, but with Stafford, he's not a free agent, so we have to go trade.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Without trade, that's why I said that too. That's exactly why I say without a trade, I would say this, but. With Stafford, because Stafford is another bridge guy to where he's only going to be a 2-year deal because You know what I mean? He might only be here for 2 years. You still could draft the guy. You can still draft the guy regardless with him, no matter what.
Yeah,
and he ain't gonna be mad about it.
No. He's 37, so he's up there, and he doesn't have that many years left. Maybe 3.
I think he said it already. I think he's already have said it. Like, you don't have that many years left. Like, I don't think he plans on playing into his 40s like a Brady, dog. You know what I mean?
I think he'll hang it up at 39, 40. So he'll be like, I'm done, you know? And that's good. That's good. At least he knows.
Stafford's a different story. Like that. I mean,
you know,
I wouldn't mind Stafford. Some people say no on him too, but I like Stafford.
My guy Jack says Howard's not an option. Not good in college right now. Picture in the NFL, disaster waiting to happen.
That's not good in college.
He just won the Natty. I think that kind of means something. I mean, they didn't go out there and run the ball the whole time.
Under our offensive coordinators, offense, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes I think we overlook things like that to where it's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah. And then imagine, like, he still keeps his same coordinator and continues to work for the next 3 or 4 years. I mean, and you're in the NFL behind, Justin Fields or whoever you put behind him, like he's gonna improve, man. I mean, he's not a Cam or Shador type guy, but I mean, he's still an effective quarterback, man. Yeah.
Especially in the playoffs. I mean, you seen when it mattered, dude was on.
Yeah.
Dude played great in every single playoff game.
Yeah, for sure. Raider Ryan says Will Howard under Chip Kelly last year elevated his playing and yardage, completions, and cutting interceptions. So see, I mean, it's there.
Sometimes that's what it is, bro. Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yeah, and not necessarily would you go for Howard, but I mean, there's still Dart. And Dart's probably the better of the two. But if Dart's not there, then he's the other option. He is the other option. Again, it's all about options because you got to have plan C, D, and F. My guy Chris says, I seen something this morning that said Devontae and Max are going to reunite in Green Bay. A little caption off the season.
Everybody's bored.
The off season has.
Everybody's bored right now.
Like I was saying earlier, bro, before you got on that Ian Rappaport thing where supposedly Max is going to go to Green Bay. That would be a best spot for him. Yada, yada, yada. And then next thing.
The crazy thing is that they add in their little captions, like, if he decides that he wants to trade. Like, if he decides to request the trade, like, if, like, motherfucker, you guys just post anything just to get some clicks. Like, gosh, damn. They're like, damn, man.
I'm like, come on, y'all the professional writers. Y'all should be better than that. Come on.
If my sister had a dick, she'd be my brother.
Shit,
dog, what the fuck?
If my sister had a dick, she would be my brother.
You know what I mean? So it's like, what the fuck, bro? Come on, man. Like, shit. We're just talking about nothing.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Let's see. We the people. Personally, I think Fields or a rookie QB is what the Raiders go with. Justin Fields makes the most sense to me. Geno Smith was the last QBP coach. Yeah, and that's the thing. And I think Seattle says they're going to keep Geno. So that whole trade possibility is not most likely not going to happen. And same thing, it's a trade, so we got to give up either cash and a draft pick or both or something in that combination or a player, So you got a lot of different things you have to give up. And what would you give up for a guy like Geno Smith? So that's the thing, or Matt Stafford.
I think Pete Carroll. One of the reasons why he got fired was Geno Smith, dog. Like that was one of the reasons. Like I'm not saying
Russell.
that was the sole reason.
Yeah.
Was it last year with Russell?
Yeah, his last year was with Russell.
Oh, yeah, it was with Russell.
Yeah,
okay.
Russell's like either Pete's gone or I am type deal.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go. Pete. I'm gonna say Geno Smith is our hell no.
No, that's why too. That whole Russell coming back because yes, they're good and they played with each other, but at the same time too, it's like their history is not good. Their history is not quite good. It's not terrible. They won Super Bowl together, but he got him fired. So I don't know how you let that go, but you could be like, "Oh, cool, we cool. No, don't worry." But do I really want to go work for that dude again, or do I want that dude working for me? Probably not. Like I'm good. Let's just move on and go our separate ways type deal. So that's why I see that Russell coming to Vegas at that time too was just kind of like, I don't think so, bro. And I didn't want him. So
I don't see.
Billy says Sanders all day in Fields.
Would you take? If you had a choice too, like, would you take Russell Wilson or Justin Fields if you could sign any of them too, man? Like,
Justin Fields.
I'm taking Justin Fields, man.
Yeah.
I know. Russell Wilson's has that, the experience and the with Pete. He has won a Super Bowl with Pete and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I just think that Fields just hasn't got that actual chance. You know what I mean? I think he could be very effective in this offense.
Mm-hmm. My guy Jack says Ohio State didn't win the national championship based on Howard's arm. Two deep team, two very good running backs, which I wouldn't mind the Raiders take. As a Notre Dame fan, Howard didn't throw for crap bus. So obviously there's a bias there.
Yes, there's
right?
some hurt feelings there. There's some hurt feelings there.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. We know.
Bro, every team in like a lot of those teams in the that they played in the the Penn State also has a big NIL deal, bro. Like there's other teams that have $20 million NIL deals too, bro. Like it's not just Ohio State. Like I know people want to point that to, like, unless a small team wins it, nobody's gonna point at that point. You know what I mean? Like if it would have been like a Boise State or something like that, you wouldn't have been able to put it. Any other team like say Alabama or any of those teams, you could actually make the same point to. Like all of those teams are paying all kinds of players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like all of those teams are deep. You know what I mean? So I mean you can't take that away from Howard either. You know what I mean? Howard's was just as deep as other teams too. You know what I mean? Like there's other teams that are just as deep. You know what I mean? So I mean, I would just say that Howard had some pretty damn good games in the playoffs, man. I know he had some dogs at running back, but he had some pretty damn good games in the playoffs too.
Yeah. They literally took down top ranked teams in the season. That Indiana team, I was like, oh fuck, here comes Ohio State, and they had like one loss or something like that. And I'm like, oh shit, dude, here comes fucking Ohio State. They're gonna come and like wreck dudes, bro. And yeah, that's what happened. They took down Oregon, bro, which I thought Oregon could have possibly beat Ohio State. That was the case.
Beat down Oregon.
They beat Oregon. Texas. Fuck, bro. They were the real deal. My guy Arnie says, if we got the number one pick in the draft, who would you draft? For talent or for need?
And like you're talking about at 6, or what was the question?
At one. If we got the number one overall pick, we traded up for one. Who will we draft for talent or for need? I assume who we could get as well.
I mean, I think if you trade up to 1, there's like our need is so big at quarterback that I think that's the only move that they make if they go up to 1, because they're so high on that quarterback. But I don't think they make the move to jump up to 1 to go like draft Abdul Carter or to go draft Travis Hunter. I don't think they make that move to go Travis.
No.
Like I think if they do make that move, they go for a quarterback, which is either Shador or Cam, which I don't agree with, because I don't think that you have to jump up to 1 to go do that.
No,
there's no way you can do that. But
no.
But if they were to do that, I think it's for one of them too.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Facts. And if we were at number 1, I'm not getting Shador or Cam. I'm getting Abdul Carter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Though we still need a quarterback in it, but it's just like Abdul is just there. He's gonna be your next Max Crosby for the next 10 years.
I just don't think that they move up to number 1 to go get Abdul because they have Max Crosby. You know what I mean? Because they have a Max Crosby, I don't think they make that move to go get Abdul. I think if you're sitting at number 1, then it's a good move to go get Abdul Carter because you're already at number 1. You know what I mean? You don't have to trade assets to go to number 1 to get him. But like if the Raiders were to do that just to go pair him up with like Max and they don't get a quarterback, which at the end of the day, you need a quarterback to win. And if they don't win, Max might be gone next year, and you still end up stuck with Abdul Carter, which is great, but you're out of a bunch of draft picks because you moved up to number 1. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I don't think they make that move to go draft an Abdul Carter or a Travis Hunter. Like the only move I see if they do go jump up to number 1 is to go draft the quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree 100%. Mike Arnie says, excellent podcast. Love your input. Good or bad about our Raiders, for sure. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you tapping in, brother. Appreciate everybody here on the chat, interacting with us, chatting with us, chopping it up today on this Good Morning Raiders show. And if you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys check in, hit that smash that subscribe button on both channels. And make sure you guys hit that like button as well. Help me improve my algorithm and spread the gospel of the Raiders to everybody out in YouTube land, for sure. My guy Walt says, I always remember Minnesota has 2 late firsts, 2 fifths. If Minnesota signs Darnold, JJ's on the block. Imagine Minnesota taking our number 6, drafting Genty. Maybe, man. I don't know. Yeah, as a late first, 2 fifths. Yeah, that would be crazy.
Look at Gravy's question.
Oh, let me go.
You already know who I'm taking, Gravy.
Mason Sanders on the border. Who does Gabe get?
You know who I'm taking, Gravy. Like the thing is that
he planned this last night, so you know.
If we take Fields, if we were to get like say Fields in free agency or something like that, I still don't think we pass on Sanders just because of the connection with Brady. But if we go get Fields, then yeah, I'm cool with going to go get a Mason Graham. You know what I mean? But if we don't get like an adequate bridge for anybody, if we're thinking that like we go sign like say like a fucking and this is just hypothetical. Say we go sign Mariota, and you know what I mean. We say have Mariota and AOC on as a quarterback room in a draft day, and hell yeah, we're taking Sanders. I'm taking Sanders over Mason Graham. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way I'm not taking Sanders over that. Like, you know what I mean? But the thing is that like it all depends on free agency, and the good thing about it is free agency's first. I mean, free agency's next month, so I think we'll be able to answer that question a lot better next month. But like, if you're telling me right now with the quarterbacks that we have on our roster, Sanders 1,000%.
Yeah, I know. There you go. That's the need. That's the need, Gravy. But I know, man. But you're not gonna start him. Why are you gonna get him at 6? I know. He planned that question for you, bro, last night.
For sure. Like, it's, that's it. Like that my answer ain't changing from that until we address it. If we address it in free agency, then my answer could be very different. For sure.
Yeah, no, for sure. We the people says Sanders cannot read a defense, and these are low-level schemes too. I don't agree with that. I think he can read the defense. That's why he's in that.
We can't compare him to Moreau.
We can't compare him to Moreau. That's why. That's literally from his aside from his accuracy. That's also why he's considered top 10 in the draft. So I don't know. But let's see. Rick L says, if you guys didn't like Hart, wait until we draft Sanders.
I'm just saying.
Rick doesn't like it. Like
I know. I've seen him. He sometimes he'll be on our show too. But like, that's why I'm saying it all depends on what we do in free agency, bro. Like, because this could be a very different answer. We might not have no need a quarterback. You know what I mean? When it comes draft day, you know what I mean? So
right.
I just think it all depends. Like, if we still have AOC as the projected starter and shit, bro, like there's no way you could tell me that don't take Sanders or Cam Ward if they're there at 6. You know what I mean? There's no way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, really quick, let me go back to that poll, that question you asked earlier today. If you could pay both the same salary, who would you sign as free agent, Khalil Mack or Malcolm Koonce? So surprisingly, 53% said Malcolm Koonce, 47%.
I was closer than I thought.
Cast it in.
It was closer than I thought because in the chat,
Mm-hmm.
we thought we had a lot of Kuntzes. So, but hey, it's closer than I thought.
Yeah,
53%. I mean,
53%
pretty,
is pretty good. Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
close because a lot of people turned on Mac when he went to like not when he went to the Bears, but when he went, especially when he signed with the Chargers. I think so that's why it's surprisingly close.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, for sure. So make sure you guys go over there and cast your vote if you haven't done so already. I'm about to close the poll up in just a bit,
So,
and we'll probably take a couple more questions. I'll go over some comments, and then probably wrap it up. But Arnie says, if you sign Fields, do we take Shador at 6? If he's there, yeah, they're gonna take him.
I think if he's there, we do take him. But I mean, I would be a lot. I would be. I think I'll be a lot more on board with you guys if like you know what I mean, like with more people in the chat, like then we could for sure go for like a Mason Graham or a Will Johnson or you know what I mean, like somebody like that. Like hell yeah, like if we sign Fields, then I would be for sure 1000% on board with you guys. But if we don't sign if we don't go get sign a guy like Fields or somebody like that, then yeah, I don't think there's no way we pass up one of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, same thing. We people's like, no, or Rick was like, no, draft Mason, Graham, and Milrow. Same thing, bro. I'm not sold on Milrow. He's not the guy. If anything, I
Yeah, if
would
we
get
go
Clark.
get Fields, then no. If we go get
Yeah.
Fields, I wouldn't take Fields at 6. I wouldn't personally take, but I don't think we pass him at 6, just because of
Mhm.
this. I still
Yeah.
don't think we
And
pass him,
realistic.
even if we.
Yeah, and realistically, that's the thing. Most likely, Brady and Davis are going to want him at 6 if he's there. They'll be like, if he's there, get him. If he's not
Yeah,
there,
that's what I'm
then
saying.
you guys make the pick, and then they'll go into their plan and stuff like that. Or we don't know how they're going to swing that. That's the thing. So they've already been talking. I think there's a kind of mostly a plan formulated for that situation. But again, they have to see how they do on free agency. If they're able to get a guy, if they're going to go after a quarterback in free agency, who is that going to be? And are they going to be able to go ahead and get him? That has to all kind of fall in, and then they kind of go from there. So,
I mean, I see where it still makes sense to go draft the guy still at 6 because Fields has still had that up and down career to where you
mhm,
still need to hope that he pans out, right? But I would just say, like, if you are that big on signing Fields and you do believe that guy that is going to be the guy and he will be if you're confident in him being the guy, then yeah, I'm with going to draft another position because, like, if it does work out, that's going to be a good thing to do because you can go fill two needs. You know what I mean? The quarterback position and say a cornerback or a tackle. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
like it does still make sense because it still does make a lot of sense to still draft a quarterback at 6 because of the track record Fields has. Yeah, and you might not have to pay him so much. You know what I mean? So you're
mhm,
still going to at 6 and out of the top 5. I think that's where the money drops off even a little bit more to where the court. If you draft them at 6, it's still not going to be not even what other teams are paying their one quarterback. You know what I mean? You could have Fields and a top 6 quarterback still less than what other teams are paying freaking, Joe Burrow and all of those guys. You know what I mean? So it's like
yeah,
you'll still be under that in that sense, you'll still have that guy and you'll have you know, somebody at top 6 still trying to be the next guy or not. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
like
yeah,
I
yeah.
just
The people's
don't
like, I would be surprised if they were after if the would be surprised though if the Raiders draft son. Yeah, that's the thing. Like we can we can want what we want, but at the end of the day, it's like is Brady because that connection. It's more the Mark connection that I feel like it is with Brady. That whole
yeah.
thing. Shador went to like a QB training type combine that Brady was running, and he was there with like 50 other quarterbacks, like top quarterbacks of like high schools of like across the country. And so he was there. Obviously, he probably got a little bit more time because he's Dion's son. But
Yeah.
I don't know if there was anything besides that was like mentoring or
I think he
anything. I
signed
think
to his
they
brand,
also
no?
talked, huh?
He signed to his brand. He signed to TB12.
They signed for TV. I think they
Shador signed
talk.
to
I think they
TB12.
talk. That's what it is too.
I know he has
they
endorsements.
text.
I know he has endorsements through TB12, and then I know that what was the other shit was something about like I think him and Brady. I forgot what something, but they have something to where that he works specifically with what's his name's trainer, the guy that's been Guerrero, that Guerrero guy, the personal trainer of Brady, the guy that's always worked with him, that's the guy that the Patriots kind of wanted to get rid of, that they didn't want him kind of around anymore, but Brady was like, hell no, like this is my trainer and shit like that.
Yeah,
like
this is my guy.
he Shador works personally with him too.
Oh, okay.
In the off season
So
too.
there's
Yeah, so
another
I know that he
connection there.
works with his he works with his person, that guy Guerrero.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I think they talk, they text talk, whatever, and then obviously sign under his brand and all this other shit. So yeah, I mean it makes sense. So uh I mean that does count. That counts. That counts in a lot of ways. So it'll be interesting to see what if they really gonna push that agenda. I don't think they would like now that we're seeing it and how things are. We'll know in the next I don't know, probably like another month how the projections really come out after the combine, and then they'll make a decision like you know what, we're not going to trade. We're going to sit back and see what's up, or we might not have to go high. Maybe we can trade up to I don't know 4. That could be possibly a thing because that'd be interesting to see who New York gets. Because let's say the order stays the same and Tennessee doesn't trade out of one, they're probably going to go either Abdul Carter or like Travis Hunter. And then you have Cleveland. If Abdul's there, they're going to get Abdul, losing potentially Myles Garrett. You know what I mean? And then you have 3, which is the Giants. They need a quarterback. It's going to be interesting to see who are they going to go for. Are they going to go for Cam or Shador? They might go for Cam. I think he's a little bit better. Yeah.
I think if it gets past 3 or 4, though, if it gets past 4, which is I think the Giants, like right, if it gets past the Giants, the next teams are like
the Patriots,
the Pats and who else is after that? Like
Jacksonville,
which were they're I think they're kind of good on quarterbacks. So I don't think that we would need to trade with any of them. It's just I think the only things that we need to worry about are Tennessee. So if Tennessee goes to Tennessee goes Travis, then I think we have a real good possibility. Like I think Tennessee will kind of like be the determining factor. Like if Tennessee goes Shador or Cam, then that kind of like puts pressure on the Giants to like want to draft that second quarterback, which that might leave us, kind of out of the sweepstakes for any of those top 2. That's why I think it's the most important thing is what the Titans do. If the Titans go Travis Hunter, like I think the only other team that might take a quarterback is the Giants, unless somebody trades with the Browns. You know what I mean? Because the Browns are kind of like, what's his name, kind of, requesting a trade and stuff like that. So the Browns could get a big time haul. You know what I mean? So like, who knows? That's the wild card right there. The Browns, what they decide to do with their pick.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. Yeah. So Rick says Crosby, Mason Graham, Wilkins would be nice. It'd be excellent, bro, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Gravy's like Daniel Jones is Minshew 2.0. Probably wears facts, bro.
Oh,
I did not want anything to do with that guy. He is in Minnesota, right? Minnesota ended up picking him up, right? Minnesota ended up picking him up.
Yeah,
yeah. So he could stay his ass there, bro. I'm good on that. I'm good. Arnie's like top 5 based on talent: Carter, Hunter, Graham, Campbell, Johnson. True or false? I'm pretty sure. Well, that's your take on the talent part, but you got to still add Cameron Shador in there. So, yeah, you got to squeeze those guys in there somewhere. Let's see. Let's take a couple more. Rick says the Jets might move up, and that might be a real possibility, bro. They might make that trade with Tennessee if Tennessee's really looking to go ahead and get out of the first one, out of the overall number one overall pick. So
there's news though that supposedly that Shador would, or like if he had his choice, would not want to play for the Jets because of their QB development or whatever like that. I guess their the history on the QB development. So it's like, does he pull a Eli?
Yeah. Yep. With pull Eli. I know. I think so. I think they could. They could. That's probably why also two tendencies like, well, we're just we're gonna get out of the way and get some more draft capital and probably build around somebody else. So or they have Will Levis, but I don't even know about that. So let's see. Talking about the draft, like where Sam Darnold doesn't matter. It does because like it
does.
just changes. It changes our whole outlook on the draft as far as in the quarterback position. We don't have to go up and get a Cam Ward. I mean, we can trade down. We could do so many things at that point. But I feel Minnesota is probably going to keep him, and that'll be the deciding factor of what Minnesota does. Arnie says both. If Cam or Shador Sanders are available at 6, who would you pick? I probably would pick. I would pick Cam. I feel he'd probably be slightly better out of the two. Slightly.
I like Cam. I like Cam.
Yeah, I like Shador too, but I think it's Cam kind of beats him out a little bit.
Yeah, if it's out of them two, I'm taking Cam Ward for sure.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Yeah, Jack says I personally see Tennessee trading with the Jets since AR got cut. Yeah, it probably will be. But yeah, I mean, I think that's it for today's show. We've been on for 2.5 hours, bro. It's been a really, really killer show. I'm actually going to end this poll real quick, and I'll tell you the final. I didn't really change. So still 53% think Malcolm Kuntz should be signed as a free agent over Khalil Mack out of 17 people that voted. So cool, man. At least we know where you guys stand on that shit. But let them know, Gabe, where you're at, where they can find you, what you guys got going on, anything in the future coming up.
For sure, man. Well, yeah, on Sunday, I know this Sunday we'll be live again. I know, the two other co-hosts, pretty much, Gravy and Low, we're under the bug this, the virus bug this week. You know what I mean? So we weren't live this week, but we usually go Tuesdays and Thursdays, most of the time, but for sure Sunday. Sunday we'll be live at 7:00. You know what I mean? Trying to break down some more whatever news or whatever we haven't talked about on our show. You can find us at Raider Nation Live. You know what I mean? And also on my channel too, Raider Gate 420. It's always streamed on both. You know what I mean? Just so both channels can stay up and running and stuff like that. So, but yeah, man, you can find us there. You know what I mean? On YouTube, we're gonna try to start doing a little bit more on other platforms as well too. You know what I mean? Trying to branch out and stuff like that. But for sure, man, we're doing more. Trying to get other people on our shows too. You know what I mean? Jay too, man. Hopefully we can have him on there soon too as well. So it's yeah, man, we're just gonna start doing a lot more stuff. You know what I mean? Especially with the off season, gonna start getting ramped up pretty soon, especially in with the combine coming up, free agency, and all of that stuff. So, yeah, man, you can find us for sure on our main channel for sure. Again, Raider Nation Live, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I would love to come on Raider Nation Live with you guys. I'm gonna try to have Gravy tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Next Saturday, if he's down.
Sure.
He said he's down, but I'm
Gravy will have a totally different take from me too. Yeah, you guys will
he has a different take on things, and I think that's a good thing too.
That's why our show works for sure. Yeah,
that's why our show works. Man. Yeah, he's a very passionate man. I'm gonna just let you guys know he's very opinionated. He's very passionate about his opinions.
Yes,
it's good. But at the end of the day, he just has love for the Raiders, and it shows. He's like, I'm just done losing, man. I'm tired of this shit. And we all in the same boat. We all
agree on that.
The same shit. But yeah, hopefully he comes on next Saturday. And then I got the lineup potentially. So after Gravy, if I do a show on 3-1, maybe not. Baby J might be here. Or if I'm back at home, I'll probably do a show. But if I do, it's gonna be Chris Protect the Shield And then on 3/8, I got a big name coming up. So make sure you guys tap in. I'm not going to reveal it quite yet, but make sure you guys tap in. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And then obviously for me, I do my Monday night show, Raiders Unfiltered. So make sure you guys tap in. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Pacific. It's always going down. Raider Connection with my guy, Cheeto Linus, Jeff New England Booster, and LV Rated 10. Doing the damn thing every damn Wednesday, 7 p.m. Pacific. That is panel show. We do have guests as well. So we got to get you on there too. We had Gravy the other week. Yeah. We have somebody on for this week, I believe. So yeah, we gotta get you on there.
Yeah, man. We got all off season. We got all off season.
We got all off season, man. Yeah, for sure.
That for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. So make sure you guys tap into that, and then obviously every damn Saturday morning here, Good Morning Raiders. With myself doing the damn thing bright and early, at least somewhat bright and early. Not for the East Coast people. Sorry. I need my beauty sleep on Saturdays, and I kind of met it halfway, bro. I get to sleep in a little bit, but then I got to do this thing.
Get it up, get it up, ready.
Yeah, but again, I appreciate everybody tapping in. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys smash that subscribe button, hit those thumbs, keep supporting the show. Help me with the algorithm and spread the word of the Raiders out into the YouTube universe to everybody. So make sure you guys
tell somebody to subscribe.
Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. If you know somebody who's a Raider fan, you need to tell them, hey man, gotta check this dude out. He kind of knows what he's talking about. He doesn't sound like a fucking complete idiot. There you go. Yeah, but make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that like button for sure. Appreciate everybody with us today. And again, I will see you guys next week. Again, thanks. Thank you, Gabe, for jumping on with me today.
Yeah, man.
And for being my guest. But I will see everybody on Monday. So y'all have a great weekend and go Raiders. And just Raiders, baby. Peace.